Oh, oh no, I'm back. Yeah, yesterday I kind of just chilling. I didn't do much and build houses. There's so many NPC going in, so I probably need to build another houses. So yeah, this is a redemption mod, melee only. I think Abigail is really good summon, but I do feel like Fling is slightly better. Right now, yesterday I finished killing the chicken army. I don't know why they added chicken army, so it's really nice. Their first mob anyway. This thing is trash though. This thing increase arcane elemental damage, so I don't know it count for summon. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So let me see. Is there anything I can equip that one moment? Okay, no. There's nothing. What? Increase JoJo shit? Should I go for JoJo playthrough only in some mod? I wish there's some mod add a lot of JoJo. I don't recall like there should be. Yeah. So now I oh yeah, let's try to get a goblin tinker. Basically, I'm just gonna try to get a goblin tinker and build a house around here. So for goblin tinker, you can stay there. Which way is a corruption biome again? Okay, this place is the right side. I'm not gonna. It will. Can you put it in your head? Oh no, it can be placed. Never. Yeah, I finished the store above mod yesterday, so. Well, not yesterday, like a few days ago, which is quite nice. Only one of the good mod. One of the insanely good mod out there. Because I'm planning in the future to do another playthrough with match only for Starbucks. The match only playthrough for Starbucks. Is that in the future though? Like when the game had more thing to more thing to add. I wish Abigail was faster. Like Abigail in Don't Starve Together is so goddamn strong that you don't know. Oh, I played Don't Starve Together. Sorry, but I'm more focused on survival in Don't Starve Together rather than just playing more like bossing. I wonder if I don't know. Should I adding the summon mod? Yeah, after this, I'm just gonna adding a summon mod into it. This should be the one connect to the end, right? It's deep enough. Oh, the worm! Oh, god damn! I almost died. Okay, horrible chill down your spine, and I got a musket. I don't like. Ooh, I want to go for gun only, but eh. Wait, why does it put it? Why did I waste one of my? The quick give me movement speed. Okay, quick actually quite nice. Why did I wasting one of my accessory on that thing? God damn it. But, uh, let me see. Any good accessory I can put? I mean, display depth, I don't need it. Which in water elemental weapon? Oh, I think this one doesn't have any elemental weapon. It just. I think I'm gonna put spike claw here because it's slowing down your falling. Yeah, because I plan to build a hole here. The right size, yeah. Yeah, let's explore the underground until the goblin army appear. But I might be dying though because summon should despawn every time you. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna add one more mod. Where is that? Yeah, the army of many. This mod basically adding like a lot the amulet and many enemy side content mod that add variety of vanilla summoning progress item. I try to say somewhat to balance to vanilla. So yeah, I'm plan. So it just said I want to experience what it like to be a summoner in Terraria. I usually don't. I usually never play summoning in Terraria. Really, like it's funny, but I never play summon. I play also. It's funny because I play like every single mod before. I play like not every mod, every single class before, but I never play like a summoning class. Okay, let me see. Ooh, that's a lot of good thing. Wait, what is it? Big of flower version. What material? Was you gonna grab it? Oh, is it just like accessory? Zumbo Rancho special combat page choosing the I can get the amulet thingy. Wait, how do you get it? That's so nice. Me too. What? Huh? Me too. Lagging. Oh, so this is like, oh, recipe. Yeah, I'm pretending I understand that shit. I'm gonna see. Let me see. Do you think a material? What are you gonna grab? So we transform between this version of Abigail, the amulet of. There was a different. It also material as well. 10 to 3, 10 to. Oh, so I kind of. What's the difference? Wait, what's the difference between this version and the amulet? Oh, I need to find demon author, but where's the demon author here? There should be a demon author somewhere. But I don't want to go to the corruption biome to get the demon author. Okay. Exiting can hit enemy in spirit realm, but that is so. Did you sell anything new? Harry Club Summon a GB Calico. Calico, what? like it. Nothing. Like. Okay, let's test out it. Because the thing is, like the fling version, they are like two different fling versions. Like the two of them is fine, but the thing, not nothing. Like like summon a new snow fling. The combat, is there a difference between the normal one? Probably nothing, right? I don't know. I'm just gonna using the stuff from like the using weapon from like the mod, the redemption mod, but like the with accessory from the amulet and minion. Because I'm not gonna focus on the amulet and minion. The amulet and minion mod probably gonna be a support mod for me. So what is that green thing shooting out? A scary cat. Yes, there is something just shooting out when I'm using a whip. Or when my minion attacks them. Yeah, what is that thing? There is a ghost. Minion variety 6. Oh! Nice. So if I summon different type minion deals 6% more damage. That's actually quite nice. Is that a cool bonus? I didn't need the crap potion anyway. But I got a lot. I got a lot of growing mushroom. Yeah, 6% minion variety damage bonus. So like, what the? Oh, that's. What is that green thing? And I realized it's just my meat. It's the freezing effect on my fling. Flings. I don't know. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna watch something on the side. I'm kind of getting bored right now.
Watch the whole Act Man Andy Pants. Most is inconsequential.
But this part is very relevant.
I never have watched this. I have no idea what even happened here.
Told you, I think it's incredibly strange to talk about Concord and not. Told you, I think it's incredibly strange to talk about Concord and not mention the clear woke slop.
Yeah, 1 second. Oh,
And you make fun of people who use the word woke.
what happened?
And you never use the word, even though it completely describes what's going on right now in gay games.
So the thing.
Okay, I think you
thing
can
about the word woke is it harkens back to that old story we all read and were taught when we were growing up. The boy who cried wolf. These days, it's the boy who cried woke. There is so much disingenuous criticism.
Why my video keep loading? What the fuck? No, my OBS seems fine. Like, I don't have any drop frame with my YouTube just like it.
Watch the whole Act Man Andy Pants. Most is inconsequential.
But this part is very relevant.
I never have watched this. I have no idea what even happened here.
Told you, I think it's incredibly strange to talk about Concord and not. Told you, I think it's incredibly strange to talk about Concord and not mention the clear woke.
Okay, now everything's
slog.
fine.
And you make fun of people who use the word woke, and you never use the word, even though it completely describes what's going on right now in gay games.
So the thing about the word woke is it harkens back to that old story we all read and were taught when we were growing up, the boy who cried wolf. These days, it's the boy who cried woke. There is so much disingenuous criticism using the word woke. The word is so liberally applied to
This is why we banned it on the subreddit, by the way, for a while. Is because people use the word woke the same as they use the word like racist or like a few other things, where it's like this is like basically it's like a filler word because I don't know how to actually define what the problem is. So I'm just going to use like this bucket word that somehow is going to apply. DEI is the new woke? Yeah, DEI is, yeah, exactly.
thing, because there are
There's
so many
two races in video games. There's white and woke.
online grifters who produce daily outrage content that are saying this thing is woke, this thing is woke, you should be angry, you should be upset. Tune in tomorrow for episode 4169 on why Star Wars is woke now and why you should hate it and be mad and angry and upset. There's so much of that going on.
Oh shit.
That the ending of the story of the boy who cried wolf is that at the end there was a wolf out there, but because there were so many false claims of there being a wolf, the people didn't help him. So that's what's happened with the word woke. When I hear somebody,
I think that Ackman's bringing up a really good point here, and I think the best example of that point is that a lot of people have labeled games like Space Marine 2 as woke because it has I guess like a female commander in it, and I feel like that's not really what's happening. And a lot of people, well, sorry, that's actually not true. A lot of people is inaccurate. You're correct in correcting me on that. There is like a list of like what games are woke and what games are not woke. And I think Elden Ring and Space Marine 2 were put on that list. So when you paint with such a broad brush that almost anything could be, if you interpret it in this way, could be perceived as woke, you end up devaluing the word. No, I'm being serious, right? Baldur's Gate 3 too? Well, I could see Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 makes a lot more sense that it's woke because you can engage in homosexual relationships. You can, you know, I think they have pronouns in the game. You can change a character's genitalia with, like, not having them have a different body. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3, like, you could make an argument that, like, yeah, sure, this is a woke type thing, right? It's just that people don't care because it seems like it's an authentic product. And so I think that what happened is that people are trying to like identify every instance of something being woke. But I think that if you retroactively apply this to a lot of other games, you would see other games in the past that have also had this issue as well, right? So like, for example, with like Space Marine 2, you could also say like Gears of War, right? Would also be woke because of Coltrane and Dom, right? So that seems like kind of a bad argument, a bad way to look at it. So the problem is that I think that people have started using the term woke for too many different things, or Halo, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, oh wow, you know, Master Chief has a woman that knows everything, that tells him what to do, and you know, Sergeant Johnson's like this black guy, and like, you know, he tells everybody else what to do, right? If you want to look at everything through that lens, it's like if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And I do think Ackman's bringing up a good point.
How do you get a better word?
If everything is woke, then nothing is. And I think that the problem is that Concord, which is like, in my opinion, definitely a woke game, like 100%, is that if you don't figure out a way to like grade this or to have any sort of like measured criticism, you can't say Concord is as woke as Space Marine 2, right? Like this is, it's like, it's beyond retarded. So
is that a pinky?
That's a huge issue, and I think it's making it hard for people that are like against this kind of stuff to be taken seriously because they're doing things that are unserious. If you accept everything, you stand for nothing. Well, yeah, but like this is like the opposite. Like if you don't stand for anything, then all you're doing is laying down. You're doing nothing. So it's like you have to be measured in your criticism and your feedback.
It's what happened to the words racist and sexist a few years ago.
He's right.
People were saying like air conditioning sexist and you know all this stupid
Which, by
shit.
the way, that was a real title. That was a legitimate thing. Women were saying that air
Never mind, I
conditioning
cannot
is
craft
sexist.
anything.
It is racist and sexist, and it destroyed the meaning that those
People
words are
move.
supposed to
How
have.
the hell did I gonna get
He's right.
The boy who cried racist. The boy
Nazi is the worst one.
Oh, this one nice. There's an
I think
illusion one.
Nazi and slavery are two of the worst ones that are used now. Because people use, like, for example, I'm working at a job that doesn't treat me well as slavery. And, like, they don't, like, it's just, I think it downplays, like, we have real slavery, right? Like, now we have real slavery.
It's
not in the US. Like, and by the way, if you are trying, like, if there's, like, 3 smart Redditors in chat, they're like, oh, what about prisons? Nothing like slavery. Nothing like actual slavery. If you think that, you're a retard, read a book. Anyway, just look it up on Wikipedia. It'll take you 5 seconds to learn that you're stupid.
Yeah, I think I can
So
translate
if
it.
you compare that to like what's happening in like, you know, Africa, etc.,
I'm
that
just
is
checking
actual
what I
slavery
reckon.
in some cases, right? It is really bad. And so people that compare those two things, I think, are being like very,
can be
very
powered by
disingenuous,
holding
and
a
they're like hijacking
emblem. Why, this
the
thing can
emotional
hold
baggage
lead-
of a word to
lead emblem?
make their own argument or their own feelings more important. And I think Nazi
Ooh,
is the
that's
same
nice.
thing. Like, the amount of times that I hear people being called Nazis because they don't want open borders or they're, like, Donald Trump fans is way too much.
Boy who cried sexist. The boy who cried woke. These are 3 books in a volume.
Nice.
Okay,
He's right.
that
Dude,
all have the
so-
same ending.
Dude, so it's I mean,
Oh,
you're
look
a
at
video
it.
game critic and
Strongest
you
enemy,
do video
closest
game
enemy,
analysis.
colored enemy,
So I find it
player,
shocking
most
that you
wicked.
don't see the pattern in a game like Concord having 3 black females in it and not a single white man.
Oh, it did have a white guy in it, but I think the problem is that a lot of the people that have discussions about this topic have, like,
Right
they've
out.
already made up their mind about it, and they're looking at it from a
you can
one-dimensional
only summon
perspective.
2.
And I think that's what happens with people that are, like, super anti
So I need
and
to
super
put the
pro
thing in
this
the-
type of, like,
Yeah.
inclusion.
Oh, I need to see.
Because they're
Is
not
there
really
any
looking
pet?
at it. Both of these extremes trend to the perspective of I am basing my opinion on things off of something that is not happening, basically, right? Exactly what
fling
happened to just make a
forward.
good game.
Hmm.
People are too emotional. Yeah, well, it's also that people are not really willing to, like, concede any ground. And I think if you're not really willing to see, like, the sense of, like, what other people are saying, then I think that you can't really,
Wait, is it
you
the-
can't be reasoned with,
Oh,
right? You can't
Celeste, the
have people
pet command.
understand
Was
what
it
your
actually like a
perspective
pet
is.
one for Celeste?
So yeah,
It is
what if everything
Stardust,
really
it is
is? Well,
Spectral. That means most.
I
It is
feel like then
soulful,
at that
so, like,
point, then the term doesn't mean anything.
Skeleton pet
Because, like, it's
combat.
kind
In
of
that
like,
sense,
remember what
you
I was saying
can
before about how I don't
you
like how
up
people
2
call
of your
things
minion
scams?
slot on
Like for example, like
combat.
Lunchly
Ah,
or
what?
like the Pokemon cookies. They're not really a scam. They're just overpriced. And I think that if you use the word scam,
equipable.
a
Allows
scam
as
is
an
when you
auto
buy
attack
something and you
button.
don't get what you paid for.
Oh, they want
Fundamentally,
actually
right?
right?
So, like, you buy something, they don't give the thing to you, or you buy something and you get something else. Or you buy something under the pretense of one thing, and then what's advertised and what's given are 2 separate things, right? So that's what an actual scam is. And so having overpriced products or having products that are stupid are not scams. They're
You know
just
what? I'm gonna
overpriced
copy thing.
garbage.
The
And so
flame
if you
first up.
take the word, and again, I think that's what happens. People like to take the word and then
Oh, I don't have
expand
enough.
it so they can have that emotional control over the conversation. You know, Pokemon cookies were a scam because they almost want to claim to be. If you want to make the health argument, the health benefit argument, I think that's a fair argument to make, and I think that's totally fine. But that's not the argument that most people were making, and so I'm really talking about the price of the cookies being a scam. I don't think something being overpriced makes it a scam. That's not how things work. So yeah, it's turning it into a buzzword. Exactly. Speaking of scams, the day before offers are offering dinners for them for $12K. I'm sure they are. I mean,
What?
those guys are trying whatever they can to make money. McDonald's is a scam compared to receiving compared to real received staff versus ad. Oh, Taco Bell is getting sued for that. So you're right about that. Woke has always been as a derogatory term for inauthentic representation, but randoms co-opted it for anything they don't like. Yeah, I think that's true. But yeah, that's my perspective. The entire subreddit when Ghost of Yotai was announced. I think that the problem is that, so
yeah,
the Ghost of Yotai, like we talked about this like for like an hour yesterday, so I don't want to waste a lot of time on it. But like,
because
the problem is that we've seen a lot of
ice
franchises
type enemy,
replace
so I
male
cannot
lead
do anything
characters with
to
female lead characters,
take
and
less damage
oftentimes it
from my
feels like
fling.
it's a disingenuous reason. So when you see it happening now, it's like, okay, well, if this has happened 10 other times, humans are programmed to recognize patterns. People think it's happening again. Now, every time it's not the case, but when you have so many cases where it was the case, who cares? Well, they do, obviously. That's why they're talking about it.
Oh, so nice now.
What do you mean, who cares? Like, what do you mean? They care. That's why they're talking about it. So, yeah, what do you mean, who cares? I mean, if enough people care, well, who cares? Like, obviously people care. What do you mean? It only takes a few bad instances to ruin it for everyone. Yeah, and I think that that's what's happened with people. So that's why people were so upset about it. And again, the problem is that there's very clearly, like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think, like, the best way to say it. There's very clearly, like, a logical reason for why people think this way.
I have
And
spread
there's
out. Does
also
that
a
mean my
logical
minions will
reason
be
why
way more
that might be the
aggro?
wrong way of thinking. But with the two groups of people
I
that try to,
found
like,
fling
argue
at
this stuff,
this spot. I maybe
neither
go
one
down
of them want to
deeper.
acknowledge that the other side has a perspective that has any validity.
I
So it's either
overrealized
like,
the
oh
ice
wow,
spiral.
you just want all the characters
so
to
relaxing.
be males and you hate women, or oh, you want all the characters to be gay because you hate men. So like, there's no like reasoned discussion, there's no middle ground, there's no trying to listen to another person's perspective. There's just, I'm right and you're wrong, and this is why. So yeah, it gets convoluted. Exactly, there's no giving ground. People don't want to see anything.
Yep, that's true. People would like to label stuff, so yeah. How the pitch explosive?
Hezbollah reportedly ordered around 5,000 pagers from Taiwan, a country known for producing about 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors. These pagers were destined for Lebanon. However, what makes this story particularly intriguing is what allegedly happened during the shipment process. At some point along the way...
You know what's funny? I saw that on Twitter today, pager, and 95 plus of the people don't know what a pager is. They have no idea. They're retweeting, they're talking about it, they're just... They have no idea what the fuck they're talking
The
about.
spy agency is believed to have intercepted the shipment and tampered with the pagers. They discreetly altered the internal components, replacing one of the two identical batteries with a hidden explosive device.
What?
This modification was done so subtly that it went unnoticed. Once the changes were made, the altered pagers were quietly sent back to Hezbollah as if nothing had happened.
Oh, the hell?
To help you understand better about the explosive pager, let's
What
take
is
a
it?
look at how it works.
Wait,
Bro,
what do you
it's
need, like
frozen now.
nitrate or something like that? And when that, how is that going through customs and shit? Like that's...
Its core, the battery powers the entire device. This is the speaker and emits audio alerts to notify the user of incoming messages. The motor adds a physical vibration alert, making the pager effective in silent mode. The radio antenna coil receives wireless signals like VHS, and the microprocessor converts these signals into readable messages. In short, these are often low-tech and difficult to track.
Click and
Inside a
hold the
typical
guy
pager, you'll notice these components working together, particularly the batteries which power the device. Now, let's consider a hypothetical scenario. Imagine you're looking at two identical batteries inside the pager.
Okay.
Although this is speculative,
I think so
if we were
bad.
part of a spy agency, we might consider disguising one of the two
Lamau.
identical batteries for a different purpose.
Sure.
One battery would provide the necessary
way
power
too
for the
bad.
device, while the other could potentially serve as an explosive cleverly concealed within the pager. To expand on this theory, an alkaline AA battery weighs approximately 23 grams.
What do you mean a fucking theory? Dude, did nobody do forensics on any of these devices? Wasn't there thousands of these motherfuckers? Nobody took any of the devices and just analyzed it?
Interestingly, reports in the news have mentioned that an explosive weighing about 20 grams was detonated. This similarity in weight lends some plausibility to the idea that a battery could be used as a disguised explosive device. We believe there was a timer for triggering this explosive that can disable or unalive an adult if placed at the correct time. Since 2,750 were injured, which cannot be a coincidence.
What?
In one instance, a pager explosion occurred at a grocery store. On a small handheld device, seemingly just another pager, was carried by a possible Hezbollah operative.
How even
It
possible?
unexpectedly detonated, causing injuries to the user. The explosion, though localized, inflicted harm and sowed fear among those present. This raises the question, why did Hezbollah begin using pagers instead of simple mobile phones? Well, it all started with the Faraj Shikr bombings, better explained in the video ahead, after the October 7 attack and the Druza football field missile incident.
Wait,
The
did nobody go like, yo guys, 3 of our dudes over a couple days or months exploded and none of them had bombs. What is the one thing in common? They all had a pager. Let's stop wearing this shit. I don't know what the fuck. All at the same time. Wait, but he said it from 2000. Didn't he say from 2000 there was that many? The year 2000, I thought he said it.
Israeli spy agencies started planning the assassination of Fuad Shukr. They did this by hacking into the mobile network of the Hezbollah military commanders. Let's delve into the details of how this assassination unfolded. Southern Beirut, Lebanon serves as a stronghold for Hezbollah, where Fuad Shukr resided in a fortified 7-story building. This building was not only his home, but also served as a base of operations, with his office strategically located on the 2nd floor, allowing him to oversee and coordinate critical military activities. On the day of the assassination, Fuad Shukr was working in his office, likely engaged in the planning and communication that were vital to Hezbollah's operations. Unbeknownst to him, Israeli intelligence was closely monitoring his movements and communications. According to reports, Israeli intelligence managed to intercept a Hezbollah phone call, which played a crucial role in the assassination plot. The intercepted call was manipulated to deliver a false directive, instructing Fuad Shukr to return to his residence on the top floor of the same building. The urgency of the message was designed to make the commander believe it was a matter of immediate importance. This clever ruse was a deliberate attempt to isolate Fuad Shukr in a specific location, ensuring that the strike would be as effective as possible. The plan succeeded as soon as confirmation was received that the commander had entered his 7th floor apartment. The final phase of the operation was set into motion. An aircraft, possibly an F-16, was dispatched to carry out the precision strike. Equipped with a laser-guided bomb, similar to the highly advanced Spice weapon, the aircraft locked onto the target. The free-fall guided weapon, traveled with pinpoint accuracy, was released and struck the building with devastating force, causing a massive explosion that obliterated the 7th floor and claimed the life of Fuad Shukr, injured a couple of residents living in it.
But this doesn't even...
This was conferred fake plus debunked by CSSM GSNBC. What the fuck is that, man?
Compared to the mystery of this assassination in the Iranian guest house. Who did it and how was it done? We will present you with 3 scenarios and let you, the audience, decide. One involves a bomb being planted in all 3 rooms and blew up possibly by a remote control. The second scenario describes alleged Mossad operative waiting until around 2 a.m. to launch a short-range missile at this part of the guest house. The third scenario involves using a stealth jet to hit the target. All these in the video ahead, so don't miss a beat. But first, let's examine the surroundings.
Chat.
This is a 5...
He does a lot of hypotheses or like things that I aren't fully sure or whatever. I think it's kind of dangerous to say shit like that.
Story guest house located in the northern part of Iran.
Oh, what the hell?
The guest house is situated near the Sadabad complex and is surrounded by mountainous regions. It is also open on all sides. This building has around 5 to 6 floors with different rooms on each level. For now, we'll focus on a particular room on the western side of the building. Let's look at scenario 1. Ismail Haniyeh, a senior leader of Hamas, was assassinated by an explosive device covertly smuggled into the Tehran guest house where he was staying. This account is according to 7 Middle Eastern officials, including 2 Iranians and an American official.
Did they say Hamas?
It's important to note that this is one of the most heavily guarded areas in Iran, under the protection of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. For alleged Mossad operatives to infiltrate this protected area where the streets were thoroughly secured was one of the most daring and well-planned maneuvers they could undertake.
It's the pink paste.
From this top angle, we can see Hamia's car entering this part of the building.
Brown
He stayed in
paste
this
or whatever.
section of the
No.
guest house, probably in this specific portion, which has been reported to be his favorite area whenever he visits Iran. This is the tricky part. According to several reports, the bomb was planted 2 months ago, allegedly by operatives possibly
Oh my
either
god! Oh my god! What is happening? Every building, every room is bombed. This is insane.
Several
Like,
reports
what
the
the
bomb
fuck is
was
happening?
planted 2 months ago,
Is that
allegedly
bombs
by
on their-
operatives possibly
bombs on
either
their
Iranian
pocket?
or Mossad. Let's consider C4 as the
Bombs
explosive
in the
used in this
rooms.
case.
They got Samsung
It
devices.
typically consists of a
What's
remote
happening
controller
here?
and main warhead, which is composed of explosives, a plastic binder, a plasticizer to make it malleable, and usually a marker or odorizing taggant chemical. Although small C4 can destroy a room with a blast radius of around 4 to 20 feet.
Jesus.
Here's how it might have worked. The agents, as suggested, placed the bomb in all 3 rooms 2 months ago.
Was
Then
that
when
bomb
the time was
everywhere?
right,
What
it
the fuck?
returned to the desired area near the mountain and activated the explosive from a safe distance by hitting the switch, taking out Hania and his bodyguard, along with the destruction of this part of the room. Let's take a look at scenario 2.
Okay.
There were reports from some witnesses.
Chat, this sounds like some fucking mission in like
Impossible.
GoldenEye or some shit or Hitman. Enter building secretly. Place 3 bombs. Extract the building without being seen. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Let's take a look at scenario 2. There were reports from some witnesses that an object was seen flying from the mountainous region and exploded late at night.
What? So
The
they're
object
shooting
we're
a
talking
rocket?
is a spike-long range multi-purpose anti-tank missile system
Jesus,
is designed
man.
to engage modern armored vehicles, double reinforced fortifications, and enemy personnel at any time of day and in difficult weather conditions.
Wow.
This missile has a range of 200 meters to 4 kilometers, which is well below the guest house. Here are the various parts of the missile. The homing head of the missile, known as the Spike ER, is located in the nose section. Behind it,
The hell?
there is an
Why does
electronics unit
this
and a
thing drop
leading
so
charge of the
much?
cumulative warhead, followed by the main engine. In the central part of the missile's hull, there is a gyroscope and an accumulator battery, the main charge of the warhead with a safety and arming mechanism, and a fuse. The folding steering fins open as soon as they are out of the launcher. Steering drives, launch engine, and fiber optic cable reel are located in the missile's tail section. This is how it might have happened. Around 2 a.m., approximately 2 operatives began moving closer to the building, staying within a range of around 2.4 miles, which is around 4 kilometers. Once in position, the assassin or alleged
What?
Mossad operative activated the missile system. They used thermal imaging to see in the dark and guided the missile through an optical wire. This technology allowed the operator to precisely control the missile's trajectory, even in low visibility conditions. The view from the scope likely provided the operative with a clear visual of the target, guiding the missile towards its destination.
I don't think it all. Does
The
that feel like
missile, as described,
scenarios?
has two
Thing guessing?
Yeah.
warheads. A precursor warhead at the front and the main warhead at the rear. The precursor warhead is designed to penetrate reinforced structures, such as double-layered concrete walls. Upon breaching the initial barrier, the main warhead then detonates inside the room, causing significant damage. The power and impact of the missile could have potentially
No
destroyed 3
way.
rooms
Oh,
in the
this
guest
thing
house.
happened to everyone.
Jesus.
It's important to note that the
Like,
Iranian
if they shoot a
Revolutionary
rocket,
Guard
why does they
reported
need to
that a
put
short-range
on, like,
projectile weighing 7
why does they need
kilograms
to
was
put a
launched
bomb
from
there?
outside the compound, consistent with the described attack. This information aligns with the possibility of an external assault using a missile system like the Spike. And the final third scenario involves using a stealth fighter jet like the F-35. However, Iran's air defense forces include the S-300, a Russian long-range surface-to-air missile defense system.
Yeah.
Iran purchased the S-300 from Russia in late 2016 for $800 million. Given this, I doubt Israel would risk a $100 million aircraft for a single target, such as this guest house in Tehran, especially considering the potential for being targeted from every angle. Therefore, what I think is happening is that a short-range missile, like this one, might be used instead, but in the fog of war, any one of these could be a possibility. We also make original engineering content, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos.
Chat, jets like that lose to ground defense like that? They don't have like the flares or some shit. Then why even bother buying this shit? Then how do they? Could they only use those in like really bad terrain, like outskirts like of the city, like bullshit places? Then I think they're kind of useless. Then if they lose the fucking trucks with fucking pipes in the back, like what the fuck? I'm confused. Oh, there's other planes. Oh, yeah, okay. Understood.
Pain.
Oh shit, I fucked.
Boogie29.
What? Like, what's something else? What? How does people hate this guy? It's like Kabilam, the
I
guy.
don't really go on TikTok at all. I don't know shit about TikTok, but this is just what happens with a lot of content creators, is that they get popular and then everybody just decides to fucking hate them.
Kabi Lami's comment section has gotten pretty brutal.
Kabi
Fall off
Lami,
is
is that
crazy,
okay?
your time is over, bro. Put the fries in the bag, all of which
Oh
have
my God, it's a
appeared in
bunch of
just
people.
the last
Yeah.
few months. Why has this pretty likable TikToker suddenly had his entire audience turn on him? Well, judging by another comment reading, why did we make him the most followed person on TikTok? People are starting to think that he doesn't really deserve it. He gained
course.
162 million followers by
People
repeating
hate
a
it when
pretty
someone
simple
succeeds.
formula. Find ridiculous videos of people exerting too much effort on the most basic tasks,
Oh, that's good.
then show how to do it in a much easier way. Can't believe he got that big, just from reacting to humans being dumb.
Of course.
I'm in danger.
Even Kabi Lami himself stated, my
Yeah,
videos are simple and
yeah.
easy,
Real-
but achieving
reality
a point
shit?
of simplicity was actually very difficult. He gained just 9 views and only
Yeah.
2 followers during his first month on
for him.
TikTok, which only grew to 4,300 after posting a crazy amount of volume.
Yep.
I was posting like 6 or 7 videos a day.
His main type
Yeah.
of content, widely relatable skits.
Man, that's crazy. Seems pretty
It's pretty normal. Like,
pretty familiar. Man, how about that?
They were limited by a language barrier, as Kabi Lami only spoke Italian.
Yeah.
I don't understand what he's saying. Someone translate it, please. I love your videos, but can you please do them in English? Kabi therefore devised a simple solution. Only make videos where
dude, like the thing is that people don't like him because he started getting too big and people start hating him. That is like, when you get too big, people start hating you because like they cannot relate to you anymore. So yeah, that. Basically it.
he didn't need to talk. Instead, the fact that it's not spoken makes it a universal language. Every kid, every person around the world can see the video and get a laugh simply by and show how to do it in a much easier way.
In the video,
Yeah,
not me.
physical humor. Absolutely.
Suddenly
Great point.
the
Fortunately,
sound so
Katie was
weird.
now basically limited to mocking cringy videos, although this worked unbelievably well as he began to celebrate milestone after milestone. 300,000,
Oh, yeah, no, it's
400,000, 600,000,
Wow.
whilst his ability to silently clown on
Can you
others
speak
only got
immediately?
better and better. He'd begin taking already viral videos and add an unexpected stitch to make them even funnier, leading to his first properly viral video, roasting a girl for her non-existent haircut. KB's respect from the audience was building higher and higher.
It's just funny. Like, everybody tries to take everything so seriously nowadays.
Yeah, he just
This
doing
is
the
fucking
mundane.
funny.
Yeah.
What's the problem with that? How people find this funny? I don't understand. It's not funny as in some deep psychological, you know, like, I mean, this isn't like some like Dave Chappelle stand-up routine. It's just a goofy guy doing something that's funny for a few seconds. It's just a dumb kind of funny. There's not anything to it, right? It's just funny. It's simple and fun. It's a quick chuckle. Yeah.
leading to a further
That's it.
60 million views after roasting another
65
TikToker for
minutes,
his
goddamn.
strange shaving video. This then doubled to 130 million when he joked about a factory worker eating his chocolates. However, it'd be this
These are good. Yeah, this is good. Why are people mad?
People mad because he getting too big.
video
So that
here
is.
that changed his life forever.
Is he gonna use his hand?
Mocking the stupid life hack gained him 250 million views,
Yes.
repeated in another 4 videos, which followed a similar premise. Suddenly, every video was gaining at least 30 million
This
views,
is good.
whilst his moves were being copied by famous soccer players. Kabi was called the wisest man to ever live.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a good formula. Yeah, it is.
Oh shit, a golden skeleton.
Jesus.
You say so much without saying anything. He'd celebrated 1 million followers on the
might be
22nd
able
of
to squatter
February,
it.
which by the 23rd of May had grown to
Mary.
50 million.
Jesus.
Although with somebody calling this a big L for TikTok,
Why?
there were people who weren't happy with Kabi Lami's fame. Judging by 46.2 million followers for what, and
For being funny, for likes, for what? Look at this. Bro,
They hate.
bunch of 30-year-old men getting here fucking mad. Just why the fuck? Like, this is it, bro. This is your average fucking hater right here. This is a good-looking dude, so we don't want to talk about him. But this guy, bald as fucking hell, talking shit. 8 million likes for what? For a chuckle. It's 8 million likes for a chuckle.
Yep.
Is it really that problematic to you? Does it really hurt you that much that people think this is funny? It's always the boomers who can't be happy for someone. Here's the reason why people like this get upset. They get upset about it because they see somebody like this guy who does something that's so fucking simple. It's so fucking easy.
Yeah.
It's so obvious, but he does it in a way that people like. That's it. That's the reason. And again, there's a lot. Look at, you know, you could go back as far as, you know, Andy Warhol. Oh, wow, he's painting photographs of soup. Yep, that's right, and it worked. And
Andy
people
Warhol.
have
Oh,
a
that guy.
fixation on the meritocracy of success. And what I mean by that is that they don't like the fact that some people get successful doing things that are stupid. But remember what I just said before about markets. It's not up to you to determine what the market thinks is valuable. If the market thinks something is funny or valuable, then it is. It's that simple. It's not... People want to assign a value judgment to this because they think that it's unfair.
8.8 million likes for what people thought they were
The stupid, the dumbest shit I ever seen is that someone who draw a painting, like legit pouring paint in that like a blanket paper. They just buy a paint can and pour it in the blanket paper, and that painting sell for like $100,000. That's
Was
the
too
dumbest
much
shit
reward for
ever.
too
But
little
I would rather
effort,
these guys
which can
succeed rather than
thinks
a
like
dumbass
this?
painting like that.
Think about like at the point in your life where you're worried that like this kid is getting a lot of likes on TikTok for something. What is this? White dudes? I don't know if I don't think race is really a factor here, to be honest. People say the same thing about other people that are different races too. I'm sure for some of them it is, yeah, definitely. But like, I don't think that's really a causal factor. Could be, sure, but not as like a norm. Jealousy, things like this? Yeah, a bald guy's probably on his late 40s thinking about retirement and he can't afford it. Yeah, and then he sees this kid open a door and he's like, oh my god, this is so unfair.
and turn into a person becoming hated. Take for example the Haktua girl.
Yep.
Oh
She's
my
not
fucking God,
disliked
yeah.
because she's a rude or terrible person. She's disliked because her success hasn't been earned. Without
And it's like, the thing is that the idea of earning success
Nope, it's just RNG.
is a fixation that only people who are unsuccessful have. You're not going to see somebody who's massively successful, who's doing something very well, focusing on whether somebody else has earned that success or not. The fixation on shoulds and shouldn'ts and deserves and doesn't deserves, this is a childish concept that is invented by people
RNG.
that are trying to rationalize why the world is unfair. That's what it is.
Everything.
And the people that do that are
If
kids.
you get lucky, you can.
They're
just,
kids or
you
people
must
with
set
the
up for
money.
like that
They're
Hawk
completely
Tour
subjective
girl.
opinions. They are. It's a coping mechanism.
That Hawk Tour girl should do an interview where she say Hawk Tour in middle of the street and someone interview her and now she's set for like that is. It's just basically RNG.
It is.
Seeing his history on the platform, viewers might perceive Kabi in a similar way, as a low-effort TikToker who makes $750,000 per post for
I need to start doing TikTok.
700
I think that
pay for
I think
per
I'm gonna make a
post.
TikTok
God
account.
damn.
And also, here's the thing. And I've said this with streaming before. There's a lot of people who think streaming is really easy and anybody can do it. And they think that it's low effort, it's just playing video games, it's being boring, right? A lot of people.
Now, streaming is easy. I can just download an OBS and just set up like the stream, like doing right now. The hard part is to keep people watching you. That is. Like, no one wants to watch a boring streamer. And I don't care. Like, I don't care if you don't watch channel. I'm just streaming and chilling. So, yeah.
People think that. There we go again. Exactly. I'm going to say it again. Classic, here we go. That's right. And you know who thought that? I did. I thought that.
Yep. Play for RNG to do their thing. Oh, wow. What the hell is that?
Right. So go do it. Go do it. Yeah, go ahead. Go do it. Like, yeah, that's fine. It's always very easy to, talk shit from the peanut gallery, to sit in the back and be like, it sucks. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. But then you have to go up there. It's too saturated at this point. People said that whenever I started. And I guarantee you next year, you're going to know the name of somebody who didn't believe that. That's always bullshit. People like to cope and tell themselves these things so they can rationalize why the only option they can have in their life is sitting around doing nothing.
Holding out his hands in a 20-second video. The main joke is that Kabi gained over 100 million followers by doing nothing. On the unpopular opinion subreddit, one user wrote, Kabi Lami is boring, not funny, predictable, low effort, and famous. Just
Hello?
Mystic
okay. Yeah, that's true. All right, I'll tell him. All right, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, bye. My dad said everything is easy if you don't know what you're talking about.
True.
That's true.
Man,
that is fucking true. Oh my god.
Ooh, is that a nice flower?
And I've learned that myself.
User wrote, Kabi Lami is boring, not funny, predictable, low effort, and famous just because he uses other people's content. 90% of his TikToks are low effort. He has a few quality vids, but that's it. He shouldn't deserve the recognition he's got right now.
What website is this on, guys?
Reddit.
Reddit
Forest.
It's on Reddit.
It's a summon deck.
Oh.
Summon a much.
It's on Reddit. Oh, shouldn't deserve. This is what I said, bro. Like, the moment I hear those words, I know I'm dealing with a loser.
You can craft slam stuff?
That's it.
Oh, hell
I really have nothing against the guy, just that there
Clearly.
are some people who put real effort and can't get through, and I don't think that's fair.
Oh my god.
Abif isn't funny. TikTok trend number 5. God dang.
I wish that I could go through and read some of these people's profiles, because I think that, like, basically, I think most people have viewpoints like this, but these viewpoints are circumstantial around their own life circumstances. So, like, I can't get a job. I need to pay my rent. I see this guy that makes a lot of money on a TikTok. Now I'm mad. So it's actually not about him. It's not about what content he's doing. It's about them and being upset that the world isn't congruent with their worldview. Who said life is fair? It's not. It's human nature. It is human nature, but it's still embarrassing. Would you say barriers to entries are low? Of course, the barrier to entry for making content is low. You can just make something and put it on YouTube. Yeah. I would never imagine there's so many, though. You never imagine there's so many people like this. So here's the problem, and this is why it happens. So we live in a world now where we have wealth disparity and income disparity on a level that has never been experienced in human history. Like, yes, Rome was bad. Yes, the 30s or the like 20s and like the the earliest 19th century was bad. Gilded Age type stuff. Yeah, sure, this was bad. None of it is even as close to as bad as it is now in terms of disparity. Right? It's some bullshit in a lot of cases, right? The disparity. And again, people nowadays live with a lot of advantages now that they didn't have back then. But I think that and also more so than the disparity, it's the awareness of the disparity. It's the fact that you constantly see people that are like, like you're a guy and you see some girl that makes $50 million on OnlyFans and she's like 25, you're going to be fucking mad about that, right? And so, yeah, I mean, the Gini index was actually lower than the current index for Western world. Yeah, I know that. A Gini index is the indicator of like, like the wealth inequality. It's like an economic term. But like the point that I'm making here is that I think that when you have such conspicuous levels of wealth, and then you also have such massive wealth inequality, and you also have people that aren't able to afford basic utilities because the world is becoming tighter, you have a lot of resentment. Like, you have a hotbed, a breeding ground for resentment. It makes sense why this happens.
Others didn't like him simply because they thought he wasn't funny.
Yeah, sure.
It hurts me because these just aren't good, and he has so many likes.
Honestly, I'm glad I'm not the only one who didn't find him that funny, but there's a much stranger reason that people began to hate him.
What's up?
Kabi posted a simple Instagram story, Say No to Racism, posted with a separate video in which he'd help a white person pull a sword out of the ground.
Okay.
It was captioned, "In a racist society, it's not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist, but after..."
Well, there's the problem right there, is nobody wants to be patronized by a person who opens car doors as a joke.
Oh, dang.
For sure. Like, that's the reason why he turned activist. Yeah. And it's not about lectured to. Yeah, people don't want to be lectured to. They don't want to be told what to think. They don't want to think about racism. People watch these videos precisely because of the fact that they are so fucking stupidly funny. There's no agenda to them. There's no hidden message to them. It's just haha funny. So yeah, if you take your platform and then you try to push some sort of like worldview or something like that, don't be surprised when people don't want to see that.
Man, that's why
as soon as you bring politics in, it's 07. Yeah, of course, right? And I think also, like, it's about the kind of content that you do.
Yeah,
like, I talk about political content, and there's some people that like it, some people that don't. But also, like, I talk about other stuff in general, so there's not as much of an issue. How is being anti-racist political? Because people don't want to be reminded of racism when they're just trying to watch a funny video, and they're being confronted with, like, now we're like, the idea it's not enough to be non-racist, we must be anti-racist. What this is doing is it's telling you to do something. It's like basically, it's not enough for you not to be like this. Now you have to pick up our cross and carry it. No, people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what to think. They don't want to be talked down to. They don't want to be patronized. They just don't like being treated that way. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. So, and it's not about, and this is the problem, right? Is that you have this idea where it's like, oh, but it's a good thing, right? It's a good message. That's not the point. The point is they don't want to hear it. They just want to relax. They don't want to think about this. We're sick of being preached at? Yes, people are sick of being preached at. It's that simple. It's a vibe killer. It
Yes,
is.
Kabi made a brand new story. I'm seeing a lot of comments where people says, I unfollowed you because you did this video. I don't mind, guys. We are almost in 2022 and people still use racism.
Oh, I see. So he's saying that people don't like him because of racism. I'm
What?
sure this is true for some people, and this is a problem that a lot of people have, is that there will be some negativity that I guarantee you that there are people who don't like him because he's black. Absolutely. Because people are racist. That's just how they are.
It's a bad way
However, to act
combat
like this is the
racism is
norm
ignore it or
and to
laugh at
pretend
the
like
racist.
this, oh, people don't like me because that's not really what's going on.
Because they have nothing to do in their life.
Yeah.
You can also unfollow me. I don't care about the
Was it a big
numbers, I care
corruption?
about your hearts. This was followed by another post reading, instead of wasting your time writing negative
Yep, social
comments
issues, the last thing you
criticizing,
wanna hear.
try to help people, although this
Yeah, this is always a mistake. And like I have been, I don't know if you
after
guys
a
know
long
this,
day at
but
work, you just
I
want
have
to
been
return
the
home and
subject
play
of a
games, that
number
is,
of
and
angry mobs
relaxing.
of people.
You don't want to hear
There have been
anything
a lot
about
of people
politics
mad
and shit.
about what
Nothing.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
whether it's you know, the way I live, like, you know, my opinions on some video game, political opinions, like anything, right? There's always a new thing that people are mad at me for. And what I've learned is that you will never win people's approval by trying to win their approval. You will never convince people that you're right if they've already decided that you're wrong. That's it. It's impossible. Because why would somebody want to admit defeat? You have to just keep making content. Yeah, you just ignore it. So unless I can make content that makes the hate and negativity entertaining, then I don't generally talk about it. And you might have noticed this, but I very rarely try to actually justify my actions. Like if somebody says I did something that's racist, I'll say, sure, I know. Yeah, that's just what I do. You know, because the moment that you try to justify yourself and you try to like explain yourself to people, then you, what do you call it? Then now you're losing. Right, Based? Yeah, exactly. If the glove fits, yeah, own it. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's also about like not taking it seriously. Because the moment that you start taking it seriously and you start talking about it in a real way, what you do is you give it oxygen. Is now you're providing a platform for it, you're talking about it, and you see, by the way, that my strategy works. That's how Trump won the election in 2016, never apologize. Yeah, you never apologize. Like, there have been things that I've apologized for, but I never apologize for something that I think is actually, like, not... Like, if I make a mistake, it's like, yeah, my bad, right? And that happens. Everybody makes mistakes. But just because people disagree with you doesn't mean that you're wrong. And so embrace the meme. Yeah. Only apologize when it's illegal. Yeah, exactly. Apologize admitting guilt. Sure. And so anyway, I think that, like, look at, for example, Mr. Beast or Doc.
Oh,
Or like
Mr. Beast
Logan
never say
Paul.
sorry, yeah.
Like, all of these people have done things that are incredibly disagreeable by the public. And the more that they give it attention, the worse it gets.
They just ignores it.
Just ignore it. They don't matter. That's it.
Controversy only ended after being overshadowed by a brand new scandal. Comments began to appear on his videos. I hope this man beats Charlie. Kirby's more talented than Charlie. I have a feeling that he might pass Charlie. Charlie D'Amelio was TikTok's most followed person, although Kirby was right behind her with only 4 million less. Charlie losing her title therefore became a possibility, resulting in a war between the two creators. People began devising strategies to make Kirby the most followed.
If you want to help, start commenting Kabi to #1 on every video that you see on your FYP.
Charlie's fans fought back, writing, "There's no way people actually support Kabi Lamy. He's literally racist and sexist. He body shames people."
What the no? Really fun. The two dumb fan base fighting each
What
other.
a stupid platform. What a stupid fucking... Bro, there's no way this girl writing this isn't 13.
We all know damn well that if Charlie did one of these things, her career would be over.
Oh,
A
wow.
different video added. So basically, Kabi did something so bad. He body shamed a girl.
What?
But what were these TikToks even talking about? Well, an account named Canceling Kabi Lami re-uploaded one of his videos with the caption, "Why is this man obsessed with body shaming girls?" It showed 3 examples of Kabi reacting to women poorly, which was paired with another video of him joking about a dude's obesity. People then discovered Kabi telling women to wash the dishes, resulting in mainstream news articles and some pretty heavy backlash. Body shaming is so disgusting. Ew. That's so rude. I can't believe he'd do that. As a result,
So the problem there is that, and this is the issue that a lot of people have, is that if you're the kind of person that has these viewpoints and that does jokes like that, you can't high road people.
Oh.
So like you can't go and talk about like being anti-racism and then do jokes like this. Because it's like now you're playing both sides.
Dude, I never hydro.
Kabi lost 400,000 followers before the day was over, although people then recognized what was going on.
Yeah.
They're canceling Kabi because he's gonna pass Charlie. Kabi therefore regained 1.5 million followers the very next day.
Nobody gives a fuck about this stuff. Here's the thing, is that mentally ill teenage girls on TikTok don't matter. They don't.
True.
Yes. It doesn't matter, like, wow, there's somebody who's mad about you. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Numbers, Andes. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that most people think that the people that are complaining about this are absolutely cringe fucking losers. Like, the biggest losers in society are the ones that sit around and try to cancel other people for doing something that they disagree with. The biggest group of losers. So, and also like the reason why people don't like them is because they're telling them what to do. They're saying you shouldn't like this content, and then they're trying to shame them for liking that content. Nobody wants to have that happen to them. Yeah, Karen. Yeah, exactly. You and Mr. Beast work under an umbrella to change society. What's your goal though? You're talking about the night media thing? I know there's a lot of people that try to make agendas like this. So Mr. Beast isn't a part of Night Media. He left Night Media quite a while ago, actually. So that actually isn't true anymore. Yeah, you just retarded. You don't know what you're talking about. You think you do, but you don't. And so anyway, why are there so many retarded people? Because one of the most appealing things for people on the internet is to think that they're smart. There is a larger audience of stupid people watching things to make themselves think that they're not stupid more than anything. And also, this is an example of that to an extent. Wow, these people are so stupid. Telling dumb people that they're smart and actually it's a big conspiracy is super popular. Dunning-Kruger effect? Yeah, basically, right? Chances for unban request? Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Why?
But anyway, yeah, nobody wants to be told what to do or what to think.
The helpful.
Ironically, helping him become the most followed TikToker. Although Kabi Lami's reputation has been trending downwards ever since that day. Bro disappeared from my FYP after he became the most followed on TikTok.
Yeah.
Ever since he passed Charlie, he's not been on my FYP, also being noticed by Noah Glenn Carter.
Because he's basically done nothing since becoming #1. Like, he never even made a video celebrating or acknowledging that he was now the #1 most followed TikToker. And since becoming #1, he's posted once, maybe twice.
So he was right whenever he said he didn't care about getting viewers. Yeah, I think that's fucking.
Why did he simulated it? Yeah.
He hit #1 on the whole platform, and he didn't even make a video about it, bro. That's so based. What do you mean? That's awesome.
Twice a week.
As mentioned, Kabi went from making 6 or 7 videos per day to basically never posting. He instead began to state, I want to make films. This is my main objective. I've wanted to make movies since I was a child.
This is a mistake.
Oh no.
I think that if you tried to go and like, making movies is very different than doing skits. And being able to understand like different types of media is a really big challenge. And you see this a lot with like people on YouTube and also with people that are on Twitch, is that the way that you make a YouTube video isn't the way that you make a stream. And the way that you do TikTok isn't the way that you make a YouTube video either. So you have a lot of people who don't really understand they don't understand how to like operate in different types of markets, right? He can learn it though. Yeah, and I by the way, like, oh wow, you think there's a market for physical humor? I don't know. Let's ask Charlie Chapman or Mr. Bean. Like, yes, there absolutely is. Gallagher, right? I mean, there's a million fucking examples of physical humor being massively popular. So it's not like he can't do it, but at the same time, being good at doing TikTok doesn't really qualify you to do films.
It's basically based on what you want.
Most implying he was better than his TikTok audience. When he did post a video, it was often just an ad. Kirby did promotions for Airbnb, Hugo Boss, even Facebook, and by disrespecting his audience with loads of different ads, the audience would also lose respect for him. He used to be so famous. How did bro get forgotten?
Yeah, I think this happens with a lot of things. People don't like to see a lot of ads. I mean, I think that seeing ads is okay sometimes. But I think the problem is that when it becomes the majority of the content, or people feel like the content isn't authentic, I think, and this becomes even more important on like TikTok, because TikTok capitalizes on like the naive parasocial relationship in a way that other platforms that have older audiences don't really do anymore. So there's a lot of people on TikTok that actually think that the TikTokers that are really popular.
I prefer long content more because I can just watch something on one side and play the game on one side. So yeah, like short content kind of fucked up my attention span. So yeah, it's really annoying. So I prefer somewhat long content, mainly like mainly like 3 to 30 minutes. Something around there at most, so yeah. So yeah. Oh wait, what the? Yeah, 1 second. Someone calling me on a phone call. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Whew. Yeah, that's a long phone call. We continue watching. Yeah, 7.2 makes for it way better. Okay, and now my YouTube is lagging. What the hell? But my OBS still fine. I didn't drop frame. The hell? Wow. What is going on? Okay, there is something wrong with my YouTube. This black screen now, what the hell? Still loading.
Feel like the
Okay, never
content
mind.
isn't authentic. I think, and this becomes even more important on like TikTok, because TikTok capitalizes on like the naive parasocial relationship in a way that other platforms that have older audiences don't really do anymore. So there's a lot of people on TikTok that actually think that the TikTokers that are really popular have basically the same lives as they
Wait,
do,
combat pick?
even though they have like whole studios where they record 7
Well, what
second
consider a
videos on.
combat pick?
But they don't understand that because they're kids. So when you start breaking that wall and like start advertising a lot and doing this stuff, it stops the, and like, you know, being like famous and it's like, oh, I'm at this big place. For a lot of people, it kills that relatability for obvious reason.
People
You
started
can
posting
pause the mirror?
TikToks such as maturing is realizing that Kabilami was never funny, and that whole race for him to Charlie was lame, as well as bro, can we all agree that Kabilami wasn't even funny? We just wanted him to pass Charlie D'Amelio in followers, which on its own gained almost 1 million likes. I mean, sometimes he was low-key funny, but it got old real quick, hinting at Kabi's next problem. As far back as 2021, people were already stating,
it's the same thing every single time. I know exactly what's gonna happen in each goddamn video.
honestly, Kabi's videos were funny at first, but the joke got old after a while.
This is also a big problem that a lot of people have.
So
Is
basically,
that
this just
it's hard for them to like reinvent their content and reinvent themselves.
oh, that's
Like,
true.
and this has been something that like I actually think that like for me,
What I'm doing, I forgot.
I'm not trying to like, you know, but I actually think I do a really good job at this. Because if you look at my content from 2 years ago, it's very different than my content is now. And if you look at my content 2 years ago, it's very different than my content was 4 years ago. And if you look at my content 4 years ago, it's very different than my content was 6 years ago. And I think that
Let me see here, I
continuously
can grab
evolving and
some
changing what you're doing
mage item from
is
this.
necessary
What is it?
in order to maintain an audience. And it's not like a lot of big changes in a lot of cases, but it's small things that readjust you in a way that keeps it fresh. React minute? Well, there's different things, right? Playing different games. It's called adaptability. Yeah, you have to be able to adapt in a market like this.
Summon
That's
a
just how it
bomb
is.
buddy to fight you.
So you're trans? I guess so.
It's really funny at the start, but his joke is getting old. He never does anything else but these kind of videos. Well, now it's 3 years later, and the joke still hasn't changed.
Yeah.
His lack of changing content becomes a lack of growth, for which the audience trashes him in comment after comment. But it's
yeah, I think this is so weird. Like, the guy got really, really popular. He had a huge success story, right? He did really, really well. And now he's not that popular anymore because this was obviously in 21. This is like at the peak of COVID. Like, it's just hype beast standees. Like, this happens anytime that like a stream gets really popular. Have you guys ever noticed this? That there's like the type of viewers that will watch streams because they get a lot of viewers. And then when the stream stops getting a lot of viewers, those people will turn toxic and turn on the streamer. Have you guys seen this happen?
All the people, it's just like the number.
Yeah, viewership Andes, exactly. And the you fell off Andes, yeah, exactly. And they type the view count all the time, exactly. And like for me, I very much I hate them, right? Because like they don't ninja, obviously. Well, for everybody, right? It's that way. And so yeah, the 40K, I'll stay exactly. It's like, oh yeah, there's this many viewers, like it's good stream. Like, it's a huge problem on social media, like the bandwagoning that people have. And I think that on Twitch, it's the worst. It's so bad on Twitch. They do it all the time for you on your channel. Yeah, well, they do, and then they just get banned, right? Pretty simple. Yeah, because I see somebody doing it, and it's like, oh, wow, that's weird. Okay, you know, you're banned, right? That's it. And so, because it's like that kind of a viewer is like super toxic. People love a downfall. People don't
like
they
think it's good to shit on people.
And a power
That is,
fantasy.
yeah.
And people love the power fantasy of being able to bring somebody up.
Good.
And they also love the power fantasy of being able to bring somebody down.
Yep. Just imagine XQC or any like 100K viewer. Next day they hop down to like 20K or like 10K. People wanna shitting on them, like they just like the downfall. They like to see people fall. That's what type of people they are. Because it makes them feel powerful. They just like to see the fall, so yeah, that is.
That's why it's popular. It's because they don't like the idea that somebody can grow and be successful without them. Because it's a power fantasy. Why?
Yeah.
Because it makes them feel better about the inherent unfairness of social media and fame and popularity and money. So basically what it does is it collectively gives people a false power fantasy that they can control how well a content creator does, because that offsets it in their mind of what the unfairness is that this person is in that position to the first place.
Okay, jungle biome.
The power trip? Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. That's how I think the psychology works.
Lack of growth, for which the audience trashes him in comment after comment. But it's been especially bad recently. On the 14th of August, this person commented, Kabi always knows how to keep it simple and hilarious, but only 2 weeks later, the same person's now stating, just put the fries in the bag, bro.
See?
He's only doing that because he got negative feedback and this gets popular reactions. Most people's opinions on social media aren't real. So this comment only got 14 likes, and then he saw other people saying bad things about him. And this kid's like, what, 14, 15 years old? He doesn't care about this. Like, he's just trying to get a lot of likes for his comments because he thinks it makes him popular. That's it. And this is the same thing on social media. It's people like, have you guys ever seen the comments on social media where it's like, everything I've learned about Asmongold has been against my will? And then I'll click on their profile and they're following me? Well, you're just saying the thing that people think is popular because you want to be popular. You're just looking for attention. Like, that's it. So I wouldn't take this very seriously. Positive comment, 14 likes. Negative comment is 1,200 likes. No, it's comment that reinforces the viewpoints of other people.
In the past, Kabi Lami stated,
of course, the people, they will always found something bad to you. I think it's just part of the life.
And turning his back on TikTok has definitely had some benefits. He'd appear in the recent Bad Boys movie, is now a judge on Italy's Got Talent, and most notably, he's about to release his own feature film called 00 Kabi.
Oh shit, shit, I got to look.
I don't think that. So I think it's a huge mistake to try to.
I don't think you're gonna follow me
like
here, right?
TikTok short form content, like strategies to like long form media. And I think it's the same thing as like with streaming. It's
Okay,
like if you
disappear.
try to make a stream and you try to make it like the same as a YouTube video, it's not going to work, right? The only thing that works is if you make something for that platform, right? It's a different content medium. Yeah, exactly. 2.5 billion likes. Yeah, a lot of people watch this guy. Absolutely. And I think honestly, like, why he's been suddenly hated. Imagine making a guy famous for nothing, then getting mad that he's famous for nothing. The internet audience will be praising him in 3 years for what he did and hating on him now for the same thing. These people can never be happy. They're only doing it because it's a power fantasy. Why did we make him the most followers account on TikTok?
Yeah, like I remember first time I played the expert mode, I've got Tulu and it starts screaming and start rushing toward me. It actually jump scared me. Like when it spin around and open the eyeball, it fire for me until it starts screaming and rushing and yeah, that thing got take me off. Yeah.
TikTok, self-awareness left the chat. Bro doesn't talk and still getting canceled. On God, this generation is cooked. At this point of stage, hating has become a trend. Yeah, that's the way
hating
it is
it
for
basically become a
everybody.
trend.
So like almost all content creators, and you can see this on like LSF, for example. Like how many of you guys have seen like content creators that
Oh, I just want a goblin invasion.
they go through this transition where it's, wow, look at this new content creator. Wow, look how many viewers they're getting. Wow, they're getting so popular. Like, we knew they were great. Oh, wow, here they are. Oh, I don't know if I like them anymore. Like, oh, this isn't, yeah, it's the same stuff. Like, people love the power fantasy of being able to bring you up, and they also love the power fantasy of being able to bring you down.
Yep.
And so if they can't have both of those, they get upset. But yeah, here's the video. I'll link it to you guys. Why do people watch him? Yeah, LSF thinks they control streamers. A lot of people think that they do that. And it's, again, it's all about a power fantasy. Once you understand that the reason why people comment stuff like this is for a power fantasy and for attention.
Yeah, like wow, the cat of wild. It's always screaming. So yeah, they could rush towards you. But the eye evil scare me more than the yeah. Let me see. Wait, you scam death in that?
The Day Before is easily one of the worst games
the day
I have
before?
ever played.
Wait, is the day before the upcoming back? Scamming people again? Oh, god damn it. Okay, is it not even my internet? Like my OBS say me like I'm green. Like my connection is green. It is YouTube doing YouTube thing, I guess. Something.
The Day Before is easily one of the worst games I have ever played, to the point where I'm afraid to continue running it on my PC.
Like, I don't even know what a 1 would be. Like, a 1 is like E.T. on Atari, right? It's something that's like just so crazily bad that you can't even comprehend how terrible it really is.
I can't emphasize enough just how empty this game feels. It would almost even be relaxing if
Dude, I saw people playing the
Oh
day.
my god, why did they kill me so fast?
The day before
point, the only thing keeping me playing
is so bad.
what other bugs I could find.
It basically like Starfield in terms of like how boring it is.
PvP is an exploitable mess, its story is pointless, and its progression is downright infuriating. While the now defunct developer Fantastic said it wasn't done, certain baseline standards have been established in the years since early access became a thing, and this game met none of them.
So, the devs of the infamous game The Day Before, Fantastic, are back, which is, honestly, I did not see that being played on the cards. I thought they would have scurried to their little fallout shelter, never to be seen again. Probably using all that money to maybe rebrand as a different company, going under everyone's noses, but no, they're back, and they put out what can only be one of the responses of all time. So if you don't remember the day before, it was one of the most hyped games of the past couple of years. It looked like a mix of The Last of Us, also with DayZ, and it was one of the most wishlisted games on Steam. Everyone wanted to play this game. But then, 2 years later, after it actually came out, people realized,
the game
oh my god, we've all been duped by Scrooge McDuck, no less. It was heavily bombed with overwhelmingly negative reviews. Every streamer was playing it to, you know, rack up views. I played it, and it was an awful experience. I am genuinely convinced that, like, you could hear like gunshots in the map, right? Thinking, oh, that's like a fight, like in Tarkov. Maybe I should run over there and, like, you know, join in on the action. Only to realize that those gunshots were probably just like built into the atmosphere. Like there was no actual gunfights because each server was so dead. Like genuinely, in this huge sprawling map, you'd have like 2 players and then 5 zombies that would occasionally spawn.
Further away. Let's have a look. Oh, we're not that far actually. It's just behind us. That was close. Unlucky.
Oh yeah, and who could forget, because everywhere was looted, there'd be alarms playing at every single shop, and they would not shut up. All you would hear throughout the entire map, if it wasn't fake added in gunshots, it'd be shops blaring alarms.
What? Can I not rotate the water bottle? What?
You can't
turn the bottle sideways? Okay, apparently this can't fit. This can't fit. This water bottle can't fit. You can't even rotate it. Oh, this is like a Joel jacket now from The Last of Us. Fuck off. Fuck off. Not now. Concentrating. Fuck off.
So yeah, the main consensus was it's a scam game. Like, it wasn't even a...
Yeah, it 100% scam.
Really bad game. The game was literally a scam because it was just unplayable. And it's really funny looking back on it as well, because there was some stuff you can get in the item store. Like, you could even get like a Ferrari or something to drive around in. But like, I don't think a single person actually managed to get that legitimately because the game died so quickly. The game was originally announced back in 2021 and it had this like stellar trailer, this announcement trailer that everyone was just like gushing over. And then in June 2022, they were going to release it. And then in May, they basically said, no, we're going to switch to a brand new engine to make the game even better. And then that new date was March 2023. And then a bunch of dirty things came out behind the scenes. Like, for example, a lot of the employees were like unpaid volunteers, like people that were that keen on the game being good that you could actually offer your services to help them make the game for free. Oh no, but don't worry, it wasn't completely unpaid. You'd get a bunch of non-monetary rewards. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you get like a fountain pen or something. And then, as many of you might remember, when March 2023 rolled around, they took the game off Steam and said, oh no, we ran into a trademark issue. Sorry guys, the game is nearly ready to go out, but we didn't actually pay for the trademark, Lamau, and someone else has taken it. So then they shared some more gameplay, then that was taken down to an alleged copyright issue. And then in November 2023, they finally announced that the game would be early access in December. So yeah, at that point, everyone thought, is this even a real game? Are we being scammed? But then on the 7th, we were
legendary mandible blade.
And then 4 days later, Fantastic announced that they're pulling the game from Steam and shutting all the servers down. That is due to how much of a colossal failure the game was. And then this led to a really infamous tweet of Fantastic when people on Twitter were pushing them for why the game was so bad, to them replying saying, shit happens.
Shit happens.
Now, because everyone was so angry, they dug even deeper, showing that there was apparently a lot of like flipped assets that they bought from like, you know, the Unreal Engine store and other various websites, which led to the developers on Reddit just like outright denying that even happened. Now, a lot of the devs at this point started to turn tail and snitch on the company, saying how bad it was, having terrible crunch hours, which is unfortunately very common in the video game industry, recruiting aspiring young developers with basically zero pay, and even some employees apparently being fined for turning in low quality work. The reason I'm talking about this
fined for turning low quality? Not even
have somehow decided to come back. They are doing an apology tour on Twitter right now, and they have released a document of upcoming games they're working on. And surprisingly, it's not fixing the day before, because I personally thought this would be like a No Man's Sky thing where they stay on the game for the best part of 10 years.
Nope, they got the money, they ran, and now they're scamming also.
Instead, what they're doing is releasing this bizarre Fall Guys clone, and they've also released a document on how they've changed their logo, because that really matters apparently. And I'm not joking, this document mirrors the Pepsi document. If you haven't seen the Pepsi document, I think it came out in like 2008, and they paid a guy like over $1 million to redesign the Pepsi logo, and it is like peak schizo ramblings. It's something about like DNA being in the logo, and there's like transparency and like all this like meta narrative stuff. But yeah, it is a wild ride.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Asking for money for
and I realized halfway through, I realized the guy who got paid 1 million
bro, the day before,
just scams the entire company.
Yeah, thanks for the link, love. Everyone deserves a second chance. We deeply apologize to everyone for the day before, and we take full.
Everyone deserves a second chance. Yeah, you can get your second chance if you fix the game. You'd follow the what they call No Man's Sky thingy. If you follow No Man's Sky, people would actually respect you even more. But no, you just take the money, run, and leave the day before in the dust. In the trash can, that is. I don't. What the hell? It's so dumb. Like they could easily getting
responsibility for what
getting
happened.
people back
Check
into
out
the
our
game
plan,
if they do that.
Fantastic 2.0, where we share how we'll fix our past mistakes and are preparing to return better. There's no way they're coming back, bro. There's no way.
They're coming back to scam more.
They're actually trying it. I would literally just take the money, run away, and then rebrand. Like, the fact that they actually are trying to come back. Regaining trust will be tough, but we're motivated to make more games if our Kickstarter succeeds. With its all-or-nothing model,
yeah, like at least even No Man's Sky is a game they have actually created their own game,
and all funds will go to development, not profit. They have some balls doing this. They have some major cojones for trying something like this.
They're doing this shit. It's so fucking wild.
Once you helped us create Fantastic through Kickstarter today, we need your help again to bring Fantastic back. The community warning, potential scam. Like the fact that it's in all caps as well, like just as a warning, potential scam. They might as well have added like, you know, like the little red alert, the little siren emojis. Just warning, this is a scam. Before you consider giving Fantastic money, remember that they lied about the state of the day before to investors, volunteers, and the gaming community.
What the hell?
They link.
Brought to you by Ridge and
oh yeah, I remember Skillup did a video on it.
Zombies have been
and then Big Bus did a video on it as well. Oh god. That's crazy. Didn't you all release a junkware scam of a game and then lash out at everyone for calling it terrible? We recognize that the end result fell short of expectations. What do you mean? You kept the game up. You kept the game up for like 2 days. And then you pulled it. I remember playing that game on stream.
2 days? I thought it was sitting left for weeks. It even less than Control. What the fuck?
To make it out that there was more people playing it. We take full responsibility for that. Our ambitious goals combined with an indie budget and a small team led to what we see now. We've drawn conclusions and will hopefully delight players.
I don't even hit zip bug. Oh my god. They get invisible.
The game a financial failure in 2 days when Steam doesn't even pay out until a month after. I have a really weird feeling this isn't going to work out well for you guys. Yeah, I wonder why. We realized that it will be difficult to regain the trust of the audience. That doesn't mean that nothing needs to be done. We are fully motivated and will put that motivation into our next projects. We hope we will live up to your expectations.
Your next scam.
We'd like to point out that Kickstarter operates on an all-or-nothing basis. Yeah, I mean, because you need the money. You need to hit the goal or they shut you down. That doesn't like mean it's going to be a good product. Oh, look at that, guys. They made one of their games free on Steam. Escape Factory. Oh, this is an upcoming game. Oh my god, they're doing like Satisfactory. They made Fall Guys. They actually lost out on the day before, so now they're making Fall Guys. Oh god. They are doing anything to like just bury that game. I just don't. Whoever got access to their account, man. Oh, they are the bravest person I've ever seen. Wow.
Oh, 100%. I believe they're gonna make Minecraft clone.
Yeah, it definitely will be. How do you possibly expect anyone to part with money after the intentional, deceitful practices previously? Not just those who invested, but also to Epic and the Unreal team. I'd suggest if you had actual love for development, find a respectable studio to work for where you aren't responsible for other people's money or investment. We understand that we've disappointed the audience, and it is a pity that we're not able to deliver on our promises. The gaming industry is complex. What? What? I mean, it is. Like, there's so many game studios that are dying right now. Like, Ubisoft is one of them. Do you remember as well how they had that thing as well where, like, they had, like, unpaid work? They were like, oh, if you're a fan of the game, can you, like, mod our Discord and stuff? Can you run our Discord for us? Can you help us develop the game for free? You'll get a t-shirt. Danny on PC. Oh, that's a name I've not seen in years. What did he say? Why not start a new studio? It'd be an easy way out. There'd be no chance for us to rehabilitate ourselves, the audience and its trust. The thing is, they're treating it like it's a No Man's Sky thing, where it's like, oh, we'll be able to actually, you know, win the trust back of the fans. We have a good foundation. The problem is with No Man's Sky, there was a good foundation. Just the game sucked, but they built on that. There is no foundation here. The game has been taken off Steam. They're not, by the look of it, they're not even working on a new day before or an updated version. They're literally just doing other games. You need to fix the game that people weren't happy with. You can't just like start a random new project. Usually I encourage devs, but wrap it up, boys. You guys literally failed everyone. Lamau. We understand your disappointment. Okay, they're saying the same thing. This might be copy pasted. Also, is that okay? That's a Payday 2 picture. I was going to say, if it's Payday 3, it's like that is a dead game calling another game a dead game. Like, that would be the worst case of friendly fire I've seen in my life.
Oh, you little shit me in the back.
They're actually replying to everyone. This kind of reminds me, honestly, like when the Payday 3 devs on Twitter were just replying to people with like 1 follower. It was really sad. Like, they were doing anything they can to like try and rebuild the fan base, but that game is just, I mean, hang on. Let's have a look at Payday 3.
Uh-oh.
Is it fixed? I mean, 2K
not
isn't that
bad.
bad though. It did have a bit of a spike in September at least. Oh, that's good. Oh no, that's actually an improvement. No, that's fair. Okay, they've actually had an oh no, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they've actually had a fat improvement. All right, fair enough. The game might not actually be dead. Still fucking boring though. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, the fact that they're actually going to come back. Hang on a minute. I want to check out their website again. Do they have one? Okay, they've got a plan for recovery, boys. Let's have a look at this. Oh god, that's...
Whoa.
Why is it a PDF? Fantastic plan for recovery. Honesty. From now on, our development and marketing will be based on the principle of honesty. We commit to building trust within our community through direct and honest communication. So basically what they're doing now is like an apology tour. They're just going around to everyone on Twitter being like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We commit to openly communicating the challenges we face without concealing any details. All aspects of our marketing will remain clear, transparent, and free from embellishments. So
wrap it up.
Check out Payday 2 on Steam. I mean, Payday 2 will be dominating, like, no matter what. It's probably got over like 30k people. Oh, 14. I mean, half of that. Jesus, that's still miles better. Wow. God damn. Compared to 2k players, Jesus. I mean, it has been on a bit of a downward trend, but that's what should happen when Payday 3 came out. That's crazy how there's still such an active, like, how many people have autism? That's insane. I really do like Payday 2 though. I couldn't ever play it again, I don't think, though. All aspects of our marketing will remain clear, transparent, and free from embellishments. Transparency. I'm trans. We understand the mistakes and absence of past communications. We commit to ensuring transparency in development and openly providing honest and comprehensive information. We will actively engage with the community on our platforms, particularly Discord.
No.
I mean, I get it, but could you imagine? It's like they just say, it's like, we'll talk to you guys on Reddit. Isn't it funny? They say the word trans and then also Discord. Curious. We'll provide regular development progress reports to keep the community updated at every stage of our work. Before the official release of any product, we will offer free open betas for early testing to gather feedback and ensure the highest quality. Professionalism. We are trans.
Oh my god, I hit the wrong archer.
Wait, they're actually trans. Oh my god. This is a big development, guys. This is a big development.
What?
Rent-free. We're transitioning from a volunteer-driven approach to one firmly rooted in professionalism. Our objective is to gather
I'm
industry
lagging.
professionals and specialists and improve our existing employee skills. Now, that's
No,
funny
no,
because
mate,
originally
say
what they did is basically hired a bunch of fans and said, can you work on our game for free? That'd be epic. We will continuously raise all standards and practices, aspiring to become the company that earns your trust and admiration. Wow.
Dude, if you get scammed by this company again, it owns you. Like you see what happened in the first game. If you do it again, it owns you at this point. Like there's no saving. Like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So yeah, fool me 3 times. Yeah, I deserve that too.
Oh, everyone's saying they went woke. They went woke. It's like, okay, guys, we were appealing to the wrong demographic. We're now woke. Strengthen community engagement. Active community engagement in the development process will be achieved through regular updates, feedback loops, and community events on Discord and other social media. Transparency will be enhanced through frequent communication and regular development updates, ensuring the community remains informed and engaged. Raise development standards.
Hit 98% too,
professionalism,
goddamn.
enhance brand identity. I mean, yeah, you could release the game and like make sure you've actually secured the trademark. That'd be good because you didn't do that last time. The rebranding process will be completed to align Fnatic's identity with its new core values of honesty, transparency, and professionalism. Could you imagine the new logo is just like so transparent you can't even see it? Like, guys, we're trying to be more transparent now. We're trying to be more open, and then the logo is just like invisible. Brand rebuilding. Oh, good luck. Oh, wow. They actually made a new logo. That looks like an esports team in Fall Guys. Are you joking? Is that just meant to be Finland? Are you joking? That's terrible. Wow. Hey guys, look at our new brand. Look at our new logo. This is literally the Pepsi logo. This is the Pepsi logo document that I laughed at like a year ago. Oh my god, they're doing the Pepsi bit. The new, okay, if you guys don't know, Pepsi did a logo change. They paid someone like an insane amount of money to make the change, and it is actually a meme. They're doing the exact same thing as the Pepsi logo. Look at this. Breathtaking. Oh my god, they're using the same colors. Oh my god, they stole it from Pepsi. Trajectory of innovation. Convention, innovation.
Oh no.
Convention, innovation.
They see the
DNA.
Pepsi logo.
It's
the
so
Pepsi
hard
document,
to
and they just do
understand
it.
what anything is being said here. It is just absolute schizo ramblings. It is just peak schizophrenia. The investment in our DNA leads to breakthrough innovation and allows us to move out of the traditional linear system and into the future. So as you see, the convention becomes the innovation, then the DNA becomes the future. But the future is also interpolated by the convention and the innovation. Continued investment provides us with a clear resource for innovation. Are you sure? Just the mini logo. It's like Outer Wilds, like planets just orbiting each other. I don't get it. I don't know what he was smoking. I don't know what he was smoking, man. This is back in 2008. Whoever did this and submitted this to Pepsi, you guys deserve an award for how well you scammed this company.
Yep.
Because the fact they actually changed their logo because of this is crazy. I mean, I get it. The old logo wasn't that appealing. Like, have you guys seen Apple's old logo? Their first logo was actually terrible. Yeah. Like, it's good for the time. But look at this. You see how the first logo, it's like, I don't know, Isaac Newton or something, like, before the apple dropped on his head. But then, like, they did... Wait, they were gay? They did gay apple, black apple, silver apple, mercury apple, and then gray apple. Like, nothing changed after 77, by the way. Nothing changed. Nothing. And they tried to, like, revitalize this whole logo set. Oh my god, I'm having a stroke. What have you done? You took a scan? You took a scan of the Mona Lisa. The proportions of the human face. What has that got to do with the Pepsi logo?
Don't act like you didn't make a similar length document to explain to your accountant why you need to commission fat furry art.
Dude, I wish I could get fat art as a business expense. I really wish I could. I tried to get it past my accountant. It just didn't work. Oh, here we go. We got the emotions here. One identity, multiple emotions. So that's like XD. He's on Fent. He wants more Fent. He's about to pass out. He's having a slight stroke. Now he's quirky. I don't know what that is. Now he's smiling again. Now he's doing the Joker. He's doing the Joker. He's got the little knife scars. Now he's
talking about Pepsi? No, Pepsi got the document on it. No. Well, I think he's just done talking about the game. Let me see anything. The downfall of Jack Doherty.
Jack Doherty is one of the most hated YouTubers on the entire platform, and for good reason. He's unlikable, annoying, and has an extremely punchable face. But you would think that after receiving every warning imaginable and turning the entire internet against him, that Jack would reconsider the path of being a public nuisance for views and clout.
Is this your house? Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do? We're not here to play games. Flip a coin. What do you want to do? Heads, we send him to jail. Tails. No. Hey, he's not going to...
Unfortunately, it would only be a matter of time before...
Here's the thing. You can be a public nuisance all you want, but it's your short term. The thing you do is just like a short term gain. It's not a long term gain. The short term gain will negatively will bring you a lot of like shit stuff in the future. So it's better to slowly grow rather than just a short like a burst of grow and just collapse. So yeah. And the video fucking stuck again. I don't know why. Every time I pause the video and I just... I also, like, Jack Doherty, I also blame his parents.
Jack Doherty is one of the most hated YouTubers on the entire platform, and for good reason. He's unlikable, annoying, and has an extremely punchable face. But you would think that after receiving every warning imaginable and turning the entire internet against him, that Jack would reconsider the path of being a public nuisance for views and clout.
Is this your house? Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do? We're not here to play games. Flip a coin. What do you want to do? Heads, we send him to jail. Tails. No. Hey, he's not going to...
Unfortunately, it would only be a matter of time before Jack's wild antics caught up with him and threatened to end his entire career. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be diving into the rapidly deteriorating career of Jack Doherty. Around 7 months ago, I uploaded a video discussing Jack's rise to notoriety and later infamy on YouTube. In a nutshell, Jack is a creator and streamer who made a name for himself by capitalizing on viral trends and lighthearted trolling content.
Yo, what is up guys? Jack Doherty here, back with another video. Today I'm gonna be going trick-or-treating the day after Halloween. Yeah, I got my GoPro on my head. I'm just gonna tell people I'm a doctor or something for Halloween.
However, as his online career progressed, Jack would escalate his content from a few harmless pranks to extremely disorderly conduct, with stunts like him harassing Ninja on stream, getting kicked out of public spaces, and shutting off the power at Walmart. Jack wanted to cause as much mayhem as possible for the sake of viewership and clout.
Guys, better shut off the lights on Walmart. Panel 1, panel 8.
Bro, just go.
14, 16, 18.
Go ahead.
Wait, why did he allow to
do it.
even allow to get in the Jack?
Eventually, Jack's thirst for attention pushed him to go beyond public misconduct, and he began harassing random people on the street during live streams.
What? Well, bro, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, bro?
Jack's streams would only get more degenerate and outrageous, as he frequently hosted or attended parties that featured controversial figures like Neon, the Island Boys, and FuziTube.
We did that to make him feel big. Y'all gonna stare here and not clap for him? Y'all are all beta as f***.
Sheriff, this guy's f***ing beta as f***. God damn it. Beta said, hey.
Oh.
Yo, you're a f***. You're a little f***.
While controversy and outrage were the cornerstones of Jack's online persona, it didn't always work in his favor. On the 7th of January 2024, Jack received a 24-hour ban on Kick after he asked a girl to expose herself on stream. Even though Jack was comfortable making a fool of himself for attention, he wouldn't allow anyone else that luxury. By the 11th of January 2024, Jack would falsely copyright claim videos from YouTubers Mimulus and I'm Alex, with a tweet reading, "Hey Team YouTube, Jack Doherty is abusing YouTube's copyright system by claiming videos that are clearly not infringing on his rights to farm revenue," with a British loser replying, "He claimed mine as well." Thankfully, Team YouTube would resolve the issue. Up until this point, Jack had hardly faced any repercussions for his deplorable attitude. However, all that was about to change, as Jack received the most shocking reality check of his entire career. On the 21st of February 2024, a personal injury lawsuit would be filed against Jack and his bodyguard Justin Goslee. The document would allege the following. On October 28, 28, 2023, Plaintiff was attending a Halloween party at approximately 12:30 a.m. on the morning of October 29, 2023. Plaintiff was on the street outside the subject's premises and was talking to Doherty and Gosley. At one point in the conversation, Gosley asked Doherty, "What are we doing?" And Doherty said, "We're gonna fight. Us two versus you two. Alright, go." And gestured that he and Gosley were going to fight Plaintiff and Plaintiff's friend. Moments later, Gosley violently punched Plaintiff in the face, sending him falling to the ground and causing serious physical injuries to his head, face, and neck. For a bit of additional context, the incident reference was from this viral clip that Jack posted on his Twitter.
Yo, chill, no. Who are you talking to, dog? I'm just saying, y'all say, yo, just walk. Then walk.
Yup. Is that basically the 100% gonna get a...
After outlining the events that inspired the lawsuit, the document highlighted how Jack continued to profit off the incident and his involvement in similar confrontations. Reading, Doherty has and continues to generate income due to the many views the video has received, all to Plaintiff's detriment. Doherty has a history both before and after the subject incident of filming himself harassing, assaulting, and antagonizing members of the public by having a security guard step in to intimidate and assault them if they react to Doherty's harassment. The following links show various other altercations caused by Doherty.
Why? Because you're a clown, man. This is a resort. People are trying to chill and relax. You know my dad owns this place, right? Yo, if you stop talking to me, you were the one that came up to me first.
Oh, 100%. Like, this shit gonna...
that came in. I don't want to be filmed. Okay, well, just stop keep your hands down. Just go to your room, dog.
While this was the first time Jack had faced this kind of legal trouble, the same couldn't be said for his bodyguard, who had a, quote, history of assault and battery.
Wait, given the severity
of the incident, the lawsuit would seek relief for damages and reimbursement for legal costs.
Right.
Even though the case is still in court, the outcome of this lawsuit could encourage other victims of Jack's antics to come out with their own cases. Remember, Jack had spent the better part of last year terrorizing dozens of people for his streams, and any of them could decide to take things to court. Unfortunately, legal battles weren't the only thing Jack had to worry about. Around this time, a creator named Lenny Miller published a video titled I Fought Jack Doherty, in which he confronted Jack over trash talking him online.
You had hella trash to talk on stream. Let's go. Let's go.
You're dumb as fuck.
What?
You do that for a clip?
Let's go. You had hella talk trash.
That guy fucking huge.
Now let's go. You talk trash.
That guy fucking huge. Look at that dog, like 2
You won't say it to my face, but you'll say it on the VOD, huh? Because I don't want to give you a clip like you're trying to do right now. What do you mean?
As you'd imagine, Jack would only engage in the situation once he was a safe distance away and shielded by people around him.
I literally have boxing gloves. I have boxing gloves. Let's go. You're talking trash. Let's go. I literally will box you right now.
Ow, what the fuck?
Chill. But you won't box, that's what I'm saying.
With each passing day, more and more people were turning against Jack, and that trend would only continue as his inner circle of friends were about to expose his darkest secrets. On the 30th of March 2024, 2 former friends and a former employee of Jack collaborated on a video titled Jack Doherty Must Be Stopped, which was meant to highlight several concerning details about the kick streamer.
For those of you guys that don't know, I'm Ricky, I'm Nick, and we actually met Jack Doherty back in 2017, right when we started popping off on YouTube. He started popping at the same time. We became friends. We actually filmed a decent amount of videos together, and we actually ended up moving in together in a house with all of us back in 2021. This is Matthew JGL. He worked with Jack Doherty from 3 million subs all the way to 10 million subs.
In the video, the trio alleged that Jake utilizes substances, surrounds himself with people who hate him, and places profit over human connection.
Jack's own brother says all the time that the only thing he thinks about is money, and he says it literally to anybody new that comes into the house. He will make it known at some point. Everyone in the team would come to me on their own time and talk about how they hate it there. They hate working with Jack. They want to pick something else, but they have no other options.
In addition to this, they would mention how Jack was promoting OF content to his young audience, despite him claiming otherwise.
His primary main source of income is, and how he gets people there, is by making these hard to watch fake little skit videos for Instagram and TikTok. And if you're above the age of 10, you know that they're clearly fake.
How many punches does it take to explode the world's largest crime mob?
Majority of his audience is younger kids. Just take a look at this video. These are fans coming up to him.
Oh my god, these people like, not even 12, like what 10
signed to his agency, and he takes a majority of their income and pays them a small salary, a small fraction of what they bring in. And Jack will say that these videos are geared towards older people to try and get older people with money to spend money on him and his girls.
What's even more concerning were details about Jack's personal life, as his former friends claimed he used to shoplift when they lived together.
And to start it off, this is something that rubbed all of us the wrong way when we all lived together, is we would go to the grocery store and Jack would literally just shoplift. He would just open a box of food, eat it, and then leave the open empty box just on the shelf.
Right, even the guy's rich. Why does he just buy the shit? Like,
and we would sit down and try to have talks with him and be like, yo, just pay for it, bro. But whenever we talked to him, it couldn't get through to his head. He would just be like, whatever, bro.
They also accused him of stealing products at the self-checkout terminal.
He had like 5 things he was checking out. Well, it would be a whole full grocery cart, and he would only scan 1 of the items out of the 5, and then he'd go to the next thing, 1 of them out of the 5, the next thing, 1 of them out of the 5,
thingy?
and just full on scamming these companies.
Even though they were criticizing Jack for his wild lifestyle and degenerate antics, his former friends still wanted to help and see him improve.
To compare the two, but Jake Paul back in the day was going down a path that people could see from the outside could lead to a bad outcome. And even Jake Paul recently was on the podcast with George Janko, and he pretty much said the same thing that Ricky said about Jack Doherty, that Jack Doherty, he's going down this path, but Jack Doherty's mindset towards all of this, he hears it and he just hears it all as hate, not taking it as love, that people want to help him.
By the 10th of April 2024, Jack would upload a rather angry response to his former friends, and to deflect the criticism.
I'm tired of hypocrites. Everyone that has ever come after me has done everything I've done because they're fake. And I cut them off months ago, and now they went to trying to going the route of exposing me because I won't film videos with them. They're just fake. They're desperate for clout and they're jealous.
In between all of his swearing, Jack accused his haters of trying to be like him, but failing, and claimed he never did anything wrong.
There's nothing to expose. Everything I do is already out there. I'm not a bad person. If I did anything wrong, I would be in trouble, but I'm not, because people like to twist, make it seem like what it's not, because they just can't believe what I've accomplished, and they just want to say everything that's not true to cope with the fact that they're not at where I'm at. People try to do what you do, and if they don't succeed, they just hate.
The allegations made against Jack would only continue to increase, as another one of his former associates named Norway would accuse him of housing a minor.
Jack, I'm gonna tell people she was 17, Jack. Sophie girl. Oh, not Sophie, Sophia. Sophia's little sister was 17. That was at the house. And then you said they're never coming back to the house. 4 days later, Jack, Ace invited the 17-year-old and her friends over to the house. And I also have messages of Sophie messaging me, Daddy, please forgive me, or Daddy, please come over, or something. But I didn't want to come over because you're a 17-year-old, and Jack, I messaged you, I told you to kick them out, and then you didn't do shit about it because you're in Dubai. But yeah.
In his Twitter community, Jack would address the situation with a tweet that read, "Can't believe Norway switched up on me that fast. I never even kicked him out. I genuinely cared about the kid and did everything for him, and still would. Hope one day he realizes how good he had it, and how he threw away his best friend for 15 seconds of fame." Underneath Drama Alert's coverage of the tweet, Jack would defend himself by stating, "That minor he said I had out my house was invited by him, and right when I found out, she got kicked out. TF do I get out of having minors at my house? I never invite girls to my house. I have a GF. Think what you want, but I have too much to lose to do stupid stuff like that." Norway wasn't the only one accusing Jack of acting inappropriately with minors, as Neon also brought up similar allegations months prior.
You're a fucking joke. Let me tell you exactly what Jack does. I don't care. You want to say that? Now I'm going to violate you and expose your script. Here's what you do. I'm going to tell you exactly what you do. You get 17-year-old girls the night before their birthday. You buy a $10,000 yacht every time. You get them drunk and they sign a contract 50% of their life every single time. Fuck you.
Stranger still, the pattern of former friends and colleagues accusing Jack of being too close with minors extends all the way back to December 2023, when Natalie Reynolds made similar claims. In a tweet that read, "Oh, by the way, the grooming thing ain't a joke, lol. This girl was 17 and Jack waited months for her birthday to get her drunk and sign a contract on a yacht, as well as Jack Doherty has paid someone to take down and ban my Instagram account. Insecure narcissist is mad he can't make money off me anymore, and I'm realizing the truth. Stick to grooming minors." While none of these allegations have been proven or disproven, it's clear that the people close to Jack Doherty are slowly turning against him and revealing who he truly is when the cameras aren't rolling. Even State Farm's his insurance company wants nothing to do with him. According to a recent TMZ article, Jack attempted to use his renter's insurance to cover his ongoing lawsuit. However, State Farm claims it's gone outside his coverage and is appealing to the judge to exclude them from the case. From the look of things, Jack is rapidly running out of allies, and only time will tell how many he'll have left by the time the legal battles are over. In his early days, Jack assumed harassing and taking advantage of people to promote his content was a good long-term strategy, but sadly, he couldn't have been more wrong. The fake friends and bodyguards he used to hide behind are dropping like flies, and no one in the community is willing to stand by him. Right now, Jack is at a crossroads in his career. Either he owns up to his mistakes and cleans up the gigantic mess he made, or he remains the way he is now and continues to blame everyone but himself. With that being said, at least he's not losing as many subscribers as his self-help YouTube guru, who is currently facing one of the largest downfalls in YouTube history. Click the video on screen to find out why.
I'm more surprised, like if he ever do this shit, he gonna be caught like this. It got so much of evidence coming out. No one is proof it, or even try to prove it true or not. So it basically 50-50. Because like, I don't know. We don't know like what his side, but like judging by how many people came out saying the same story, so. And he haven't disproving everything, so I kind of lean towards that this guy like a massive problem. So yeah. You massive problem. What journalist Louis man? And okay. He doesn't say anything. They got to the jungle. Oh my god, man. Goddamn, my. Still loading for some reason. Yeah, that basically it. Like a lot of people now just kind of get out it, but they just consider it like drama instead of like an actual crime. But it also is really easy to frame someone as a pedo, so I don't know. Because it's such a serious crime, and people kind of using it as a leverage to like ruin someone, and it just at this point I kind of don't know what the hell happened. I'm just gonna wait for all evidence came out.
As you probably know, there's been some major Ubisoft news occurring over the last 24 hours or so, stuff that we also talked about in the second segment of the day yesterday, so if you saw that, you should be in the loop with everything. But just to recap super quick, AC Shadows has been delayed to February 2025, Ubisoft admits that Outlaws is underselling, and in a message released to investors,
Ubisoft gonna fall.
addressed...
Like, don't buy the
think
stock.
that
You're gonna fall deeper. You're gonna sell way lower.
I think they're underselling the fact that they're underselling. I think that it was because they're coming out with like roadmaps, tweets. They're explaining, no, guys, please keep playing the game. Please play the game. Yeah, I think it's way worse than what we'd imagine. I've never seen a company do this in a way that was not cataclysmic, you know? Very problematic.
There's a number of issues at the company and outlines some changes that they're going to try to help fix them. This following an internal probe also going on at Ubisoft to try and understand why the company has been failing so massively over the last number of years. And finally, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot. Did I get the name right that time? Well, he's made a statement saying that Ubisoft really doesn't have an agenda. And this particular statement has actually enraged
It's upset a lot of people because them saying and coming out saying that they don't have an agenda with the game, what that does is it basically makes the concerns that, you know, these people that are considered like, oh, incels or whatever, it validates them. Because it says, like, you are important enough for us to respond to you.
Of armchair activists and similar type of journalists. That's what we're going to be going over in this video, as it should be very entertaining, so I hope you're ready and let's enjoy. We start with Paul Tassi, who's responding to Stefan Totilo, who said, from CEO, regarding polarized comments around Ubisoft, I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games that everyone can enjoy.
That's right.
That being the statement from Yves that I mentioned earlier. And Paul Tassi responds saying, it is embarrassing Ubisoft is admitting that they're actually rattled by the culture war stuff over Outlaws and Shadows.
They're not rattled by it. The only thing that's being rattled is their balance sheet. And if people aren't pre-ordering the game and they think the game's going to be awful,
it's done.
That's really fucking bad. And it doesn't matter at a certain point, like this is the problem, is that these companies are realizing that
they're losing money.
Like, you can have, like, an agenda with the game, and as long as it doesn't, like, you know, completely overshadow the game, people aren't really going to care. But if you champion agendas and viewpoints that are not really what your audience wants to see, you're not going to sell the game. It's that simple. And I think that this is becoming more true and more important as gaming becomes more worldwide. So, like, I'll give you a really good example. Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong has sold more copies than almost any other AAA game in a very long time.
Yeah.
It's sold over 20 million copies.
And here's the thing.
And why is that? It's because they appealed to an audience of people, and they met that audience of people.
As a fact,
and the issue is that
Black Myth Wukong based on Journey to the West, the series that resonates so much to many people,
becoming less important inside of the market of gaming because gaming is being like
Black Myth Wukong. Every Southeast Asian people I knew know who Sun Wukong is, and the fact that based on how big China is and guessing like how many people play the game, legit there are like 8 people playing Black Myth Wukong. It's fucking big. Like Black Myth Wukong is a massive hit. And what does they do? They take the source material from the Journey to the West myth and they put into a video game. That it. No agenda, nothing. They just take a pre-existing content and turn it into another one. That is. And I like it. Ah fuck, my game. What the hell? Yeah. Oh, what? Like, di ko pa because Black Myth Wukong based on already existing, and it also has some Chinese myth on it, and people want to see different type of mythology in game instead of like just see like the Western version of myths. You know? God damn it! Why do I have to pause the video? And because my browser getting lag again. God damn. It worked fine, but now I don't understand my browser keep getting stun locked for some reason. Opera GX, by the way, fucking trash the browser. The reason I doesn't using Chrome because it takes so much of my RAM, and I thought the Opera GX is probably better, and now look at it.
Being anti-Ubisoft makes you far right? Man, that's crazy. Where do these people
committed to creating games that everyone can enjoy?
That's right.
That being the statement from Eves that I mentioned earlier.
There are a lot of different myths. All you need
is
to kind of doing it.
Ubisoft is admitting that they're actually rattled by the Cold War stuff over Outlaws and
Chinese myth is one of them.
They're not rattled by it. The only thing that's being rattled is their balance sheet. And if people aren't pre-ordering the game and they think the game's going to be awful, that's really fucking bad. And it doesn't matter at a certain point. Like, this is the problem, is that these companies are realizing that they, like, you can have, like, an agenda with the game, and as long as it doesn't, like, you know, completely overshadow the game, people aren't really going to care. But if you champion agendas and viewpoints that are not really what your audience wants to see, you're not going to sell the game. It's that simple. And I think that this is becoming more true and more important as gaming becomes more worldwide. So, like, I'll give you a really good example. Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong has sold more copies than almost any other AAA game in a very long time. It's sold over 20 million copies. And why is that? It's because they appealed to an audience of people and they met that audience of people. And the issue is that Western values and Western journalism values, even more narrowed, are becoming less important inside of the market of gaming because gaming is being, like, it's being outsourced, or not really outsourced, but it's being exported to other parts of the world. And this is a great thing, by the way. It's being exported to places like, obviously there's the, you know, like Korea, right? It's been gaming for a long time, but now they're more involved socially. Now you're seeing China get involved with gaming a lot. You're seeing the Middle East get involved with gaming tremendously, right? Even with tournaments and stuff. You're seeing another really, really big one. The best fans that you can possibly fucking have.
I mean, it's kind of
my
nice.
opinion,
Dude, if they make a whole
South
bunch in game
America
where you go around
and people in the
chopping tree and at a certain
ride
point you start
or
killing
die.
alien.
Like, I am jealous of some of the people there. Yes, they are crazy rabid. They're super supportive, everything like that. And come to Brazil. Yes, exactly. Brazil goes crazy. And so you're seeing these narratives become less important because as gaming was made basically by the West for the West, it's going to be Western centric. It's going to have Western values. But now as we're seeing gaming become more worldwide and incorporate more cultures, it becomes increasingly more difficult to put narrow Western viewpoints into video games and not have them alienate other audiences. Because the truth is that a lot of issues that the West is more progressive on, things like trans issues, LGBT issues, women's issues, things
make
like
some
that.
chainsaw or something.
Like, let's say we're at a 7, a lot of places in the world are at like a 3. And so for those people, they will make a purchase decision based off of that, and they will think that it's bad. So, and I'll give you, this is like an example of that. So there are a number of games in China that are like gacha games that do not have male characters.
Yep.
Azura Promelia, which is the new game that Azure Lane is making, that's like kind of a mix between like Genshin Impact and Pal World, has come out and stated preemptively, guys, don't worry, we're not going to add male characters. So that's the way that you can see how these
They don't
different
add male
companies,
character
like,
because they're
will be
afraid of
affected by
people
these
getting
audiences.
cut. So
Because
yeah.
the companies never cared
That
about these
basically
values. They only cared about money. And they only cared about the values to the extent that they thought it could make them money. The moment that it's not going to make them money, they'll kick the gay people out. Like, if Nazis took over again, they would talk about how good Nazis are. That's the truth. That's what I think. And hey, if you don't believe me, ask Hugo Boss or Henry Ford. It's not even a hypothetical.
He had more to say than that, but before we get to that, let me share my opinion on this. Just simplifying all of these issues into culture war stuff seems like a very odd take by Paul Tassi, because this situation involves people in Japan talking about their country being disrespected, as they're also
that's all culture. That is culture war. It is, definitely it is.
lied to by a massive corporation regarding their own history. But apparently to Paul Tassi, all of this is just culture war stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with Paul Tassi, he's often been criticized in gaming circles for numerous takes that he's made over the years that seem dismissive of the issue people have with things such as DEI. For example,
I think that a lot of people do that and they try to dismiss it like it doesn't matter. And this is probably it's probably the best strategy that I think they use, is that they basically make an appeal to triviality and they say,
I wonder if
why
I can
do you care
get a
about this thing that we're doing? It's not a big deal.
Nice.
And I think that a lot of people don't have the right language to counter that type of an argumentation, because yeah, it's basically who cares. Well, it's like, who cares? Well, you care, you're doing it. But people, like, it's a very good strategy because people don't see it that way. And so that's why they do that.
Back when Ubisoft issued their apology to the Japanese community, Paul Tassi had this to say. When the hyper-forced pushback to your game is the not Japanese culture war talking point of you putting a DI samurai in your game, I would not engage with these people at all.
You have to, and this is the thing, is that if there's enough people like this, you have to engage with them. Like, I bet a lot of the people in China that are making
Dryad covering and Dryad at low
they won't buy characters that are male characters, and they're going to quit the game over that. But at the end of the day, the customer is never wrong. If the customer decides collectively that they don't want this in a game, then that's it. That's all there is to it. There's not, it doesn't matter like what you think or like how you think it should be or anything like that. You either make a product and you appeal to a market, or you don't. And if there's enough people who don't like something and they make that, like, for example, like, I'm trying to think like a good example of this, like gay inclusion, right? You're not going to just convince the Middle East to be okay with this, because culturally that's not what they like, right? They're not into that. So guess what? If you're making a game for that company or for that place in the world, for that audience, and you put that in the game, you will not sell your game.
100%.
That's
Even
it.
culture,
It doesn't matter what your values are. It matters what their values are. And there's not an equal footing here. The customer has all the power, and the company only has the power to meet the customer's demand. That's all there is to it. Wouldn't engage these people at all? Yeah, and also they didn't engage with them. They didn't engage with them with Star Wars Outlaws. And I think that's what happened, is that Star Wars Outlaw came out, and the game had terrible sales, probably. I mean, they said it, and I think, again, they're downplaying it. It had terrible sales, and so now they see the same thing potentially happening with Assassin's Creed, and they're freaking out. They're worried. Yeah, they're like, oh my god, if we do this again, we're not going to make enough money.
So it also looks like he has a history of dismissing the issues that Japanese people have with AC Shadows.
I hate the word customer eat over, right? It's better to say consumer eat over.
Just giving you a little bit more
consumer
context.
eating,
It's
because
a
they
truly
can
bizarre
determine
thing
how
how
good
many
your
arms
shit are.
activist types and journalists, etc., are in complete denial about the failures of DEI. In my opinion, DEI is largely something that companies have tried to use for profit motives, attempts to appeal to ESG funds, and things like that.
Well,
so whenever
and I think that also, like, you have a really bad feedback loop with DEI stuff. So when a company shifts towards trying to, like, seek DEI funding, the reason why they're probably doing that is because they can't seek funding from another perspective. So, you know, the game can't exist on its own merits. So they add in a type of representation that qualifies them for a certain amount of money. And what that does is it creates a feedback loop where games that are, you know, forcing DEI in order to get certain types of funding will be more often bad, because the reason why they're getting that funding is because they couldn't get other funding, and the reason why they couldn't get other funding is because the game wasn't good to begin with. You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand it's like, that's kind of like a long chain of logic, but I think it very much tracks.
Whenever I see someone defending those sort of practices, to me, they just come off as massive corporate bootlickers. Now, as DI has been failing and actually been costing these corporations more and more money in many cases, the topic comes up more and more, and we see more people criticizing that stuff, as well as more people like Paul Tassi seemingly attempting to dismiss those criticisms. Another example of this, albeit perhaps to a lesser extent, were some of the takes that he was making during Concord, where he seemed to be in denial of sorts about the game's terrible player count after launch.
It's been 2 more hours. I've been waiting several hours for Concord players to break 700, and it hasn't.
700? No. Dude, 400 million on Concord? Sony lose fucking money. Is that not just like...
You could do it. I'm genuinely wondering if something is glitching. This is the 70th something most sold game on Steam, which isn't good, but like, you would have to imagine there'd be more than this. Like, dude, this was crazy. It's a glitch, man. Like, I remember I had this glitch happen in Overwatch where I downranked from gold to silver, and I still think it was a glitch. I do. Nobody else does, but I think it was a glitch, man.
Wondering if it was even just a glitch or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's impossible for some people to admit the issues with the character roster. And now practices such as DEI largely contributed to a number of issues.
I knew this wouldn't go well, but it's legitimately weird. Suicide Squad launched with 20x more players. I'm actually wondering if there's something else going on. The timing is weird too. Like, it peaked early afternoon and didn't even add a couple hundred players after work and school in America. I don't get it.
You got no one played your game and no one want to buy it. That is easy.
I do.
Because the game is trash.
How is it that everybody understands this but him? Everybody understands. Like, and this is the thing, right? It's like, if you bury your head in the sand long enough, you think that's the way the world is. But no, people didn't like it. That's why.
Game. Now, I'm not saying that all of the issues with Concord were simply DI related. For example, the price point in the saturated market, sure, these were also contributing factors to Concord's massive failure, but when you see people ignoring the DI related issues as well, it comes off as ignorant or bad faith. And for those that don't know, the person Paul Tassi was talking to in those screenshots, Gene Park, who was also seemingly in denial in their own way, claims to be affiliated with the Washington Post. Anyways, back to the...
I think Gene puts out
he
some
straight to China as he point like... I
think I follow him
he buried
on
him so
Twitter.
too
I
that
like
he's Gene.
Yeah, I like Paul too. I really... You gotta come to Jesus with this shit, man.
You have to accept,
I think he's had... The thing is that I
you need to
disagree
accept
with
his
him on
greatest
his
point here.
opinion and like his viewpoint on this stuff, but I think he's had good takes on other games and good takes on other topics. So like, to me, it's like, I don't really think of it like, oh, there's one thing that this person has that's bad. And so like, example, I think his opinion on Seasons with Diablo 4 was really good. And I also liked what he said about, I think it was it Destiny 2? I'm trying to remember, give me a second. About Pal World, and like the way that Pal World's player numbers were. So like, that's 2 examples that I can come up with right off the top of my head. Yeah, sure.
Current news with Ubisoft and Paul Tassi's takes on this stuff going on right now. He added this to his other tweet, saying, Outlaws could have starred a guy who looks like Han Solo, and Shadows could have starred a guy who looks like Jin Sakai, and I do not think it would meaningfully change the fortunes of either of those games.
Who knows?
I think this would be a larger contributing factor to AC Shadows. Star Wars Outlaws has a number of other issues aside from people just not liking
I saw a video of,
for example, a lot of people said that the gameplay was just boring, especially the stealth segments, which is a large part of the game.
It also really
bugged me too. Not just
like the game.
Like, you were very limited in the so-called immoral stuff that you could do in the game itself.
Exactly, and I think that's really the problem, is that a lot of times, like, the female protagonist, you know, like, black protagonist is not really the main issue. It's that ideology that causes people to make decisions like that permeates the rest of the game. So, like, for example, with Star Wars Outlaws, how you can't kill the animals, but you can pet them, and you can only steal from police officers. Like, the problem is not, like, that
But you can
there's that
only
one
steal
thing.
from the cop
The
instead
problem
of
is
like,
that
I'll steal
one
from
thing
everyone.
is an
Bruh.
indicator for a worldview that the game is developed around, and that worldview creates a very flaccid experience. That's really what it is. It's lack of focus on what's important, right? Yeah, exactly. But like, that's just one point of an indicator, right? Maybe Disney didn't allow it. I don't know what the reason is for it. All I'm saying is that it's not good.
Of course, there's also been numerous glitches, and these are just a few brief examples of some of the issues that people have with Star Wars Outlaws. But for Paul Tassi to suggest that
The game
having an
sucked.
actual Japanese male lead for AC Shadows wouldn't meaningfully change the fortune of the game seems like an absolutely insane thing to say. And once again,
Yeah, again, like, look at Black Myth Wukong, right? The game farmed and, like, you know, respected Chinese culture, and it got 2 million concurrent players. Absolutely appealing to an audience of people will get you to have those people play the game. It's not even a question.
What the hell is it?
yeah,
China loved it. Yeah, they did, obviously.
What the
Was
hell?
it 2.5? It was a lot.
And it also seems dismissive towards the issues that many people in Japan, many Japanese people, have with the game. It's really odd that Paul Tassi seems to have a recurring theme where he's very dismissive towards the issues that Japanese people have towards AC Shadows.
I think that the reason why is that a lot of the people that are Japanese that have problems with Assassin's Creed Shadows are living in Wisconsin, and they live in Massachusetts, or they live in Florida, and they have Google Translate, and they say, you know, I'm not Japanese, but I think this is bad. So that's the reason why, but I think in general, a lot of journalists have tried to
Wait, I cannot craft a whip?
compartmentalize and act like the concerns that people have over games like this aren't valid and they're not meaningful. And I think that in doing so, they've damaged their own reputations. It's like, basically, like, you can be, you know, behind a burning building and be like, yeah, everything's fine. This is great. And at a certain point, it becomes so obvious what the elephant in the room is that the people that are not talking about it seem delusional.
What? I cannot craft anything? I thought...
I think there's other issues that AC Shadows has. I mean, there's
Oh,
clearly other reasons
12
why
younger
Ubisoft
spawn.
delayed
Oh,
the
oh.
game. The probability of them changing Yasuke at this point seems
Yeah,
near 0%.
I would
so
head
there's
off
probably
soon,
other
to be
things they're
honest.
trying to
I thought
polish,
you'd craft
which
the
also
whip,
falls in line with
the
the other
jungle
parts
whip
of the
and
state.
Which, by the way, is absolutely necessary.
Probably heading up after the
Like,
video.
it was, the
So,
game
yeah.
was awful. It looked awful. Like, I think that, again, people get focused on, like, oh, wow, Black Samurai, oh, bad, bad, bad. Look at the combat portions of the game. Oh, the floating doors, yes! As I said, guys, that is not even going to be in the top 10 problems with this game when it comes out.
That they made. Also, as I mentioned yesterday, there's also just a general negative perception and a loss of goodwill that Ubisoft has had. So perhaps they're going to try and spend the next few months trying to recover some goodwill at least before releasing AC Shadows. The point I'm making here is there's other issues going on with AC Shadows besides just Yasuke, but again, Yasuke is certainly a huge factor.
It's the easiest thing that people can say.
Yep,
It's the easiest thing that people can latch onto and be like,
wicked
wow.
point, yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. Remember what I said before about how, like, the reason why identity politics is so popular is because it's very easy to go, oh, well, I think that men shouldn't go in the women's bathroom. Well, well, if you're black and, oh, God, but they're white, I'm black, oh, God. And, like, identity politics, well, women should not be able to do this. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But the fact is that that type of thinking is the most
common. Yeah.
It is the most common. It is the lowest common denominator. And because it's the
easy
lowest
to
common
point out,
denominator, it's going to get the most people. So that's why everything is reduced down to identity politics.
I hate
It's because
politics in
identity
video games.
politics has no barrier to entry of understanding it. Whereas, like, you know, seeing physics in games, understanding like, are these items from actually this period in the game? You know, like what about this combat thing? There's like more barriers to entry there. It's more accessible. Yeah, like this literally is face value, and so it's simple.
Dude, like
It's easily
Star Wars,
weaponized,
I see the game mechanic is so bad. It's not even stealth.
All of this leads us to an article that Paul Tassi wrote today.
There's so
for
many
Forbes,
stuff
titled,
that's
"After
happening in the
Assassin's
game and
Creed
you don't even
Shadows
see it.
delay, Ubisoft acknowledges Outlaws issue. Anti-woke pushback. It's funny that he complains about culture war stuff, even when that label is oversimplifying the issues going on, and is also, as I mentioned, rather dismissive towards the issues
If
at
you
large.
make a
But
good
then
game,
he's also
people
going to
don't give a shit
simultaneously
into
write an
adding
article
like
that's
any
like, oh, it's
politics in
just
the game.
anti-woke pushback. Seems like this guy.
So look at Border
even
Game.
if it is
They
just
have same-sex
anti-woke pushback,
marriage
there's enough
in there.
people that
Like
are
they have
anti-woke,
different
then the
type
games
people,
have
like
to be
different
anti-woke.
races, and people
It's just
still
that
like
simple.
Border Game.
Like, and this is what I said before about like the Chinese like gacha players. It doesn't matter like what the company thinks the game should have in it. At the end of the day, if you make a game with male characters, they're not going to buy them.
Basically, a good game and people like it.
You can talk about and like trying to like admonish and like punish and like talk down to and shame the audience into purchasing something is never going to work. It's not like you can just talk to these people and be like, oh yeah, you need to buy this game. It's bad not to buy this game. They don't have money though. Well, they do. That's why they're going to change it. So that you can't bully an audience into buying a product. It just doesn't work.
Is actually propagating culture war stuff, if anything. The article goes over some of the stuff that we've already covered here in this video and others, so I'm skipping all that.
Yeah.
And let's check out this section where he writes, then Ubisoft surprisingly tacitly acknowledged the narrative that its games have become too woke or agenda driven, according to a segment of the internet. And posting that statement from Eves where he denies Ubisoft having any specific agenda. He then writes, while Ubisoft already apologized to its Japanese audiences over some questionable promotional materials for Shadows, the pushback was also about the inclusion of Yasuke as one of the two leads, a legendary black samurai, where there was an ensuing debate of whether he was actually a samurai, and a stated idea that it shouldn't be starring him at all. It's pretty funny that despite all of the evidence coming out that Yasuke really wasn't—
Well, I mean, the legendary black, and this is the problem, right? Is like this type of writing, legendary black samurai.
Yeah, like it's
I
just
think that again,
people don't
like, if
care
you want
about
to be
ideology
persuasive,
or politics if the game is good.
it's very
100%.
hard to
I
read
will-
this
I
and
will
to
legit
not
game
see
that.
that there is a very clear
You can
agenda
add
with what's
gay,
being written.
black, Asian, every character in the game. It's a game.
Like
Good.
it is.
People
There's
would
just
like
obviously
it.
an agenda
They will
with this,
don't
right?
give a
And
shit
like if I read
there's
this,
something
I'm thinking,
something
okay,
from opposite.
well,
po-
like, is it
politics.
true or not? So legendary, nobody knows him.
Mhm.
I guess so. Yasuke is more fabled than legend. I don't know. I don't really think it matters, right? But at the end of the day, if you want to call the guy a samurai and then base your work off of a person who sources themselves on Wikipedia on an alt account, then I don't think that you should really, like, you shouldn't really ride that horse too hard. People clearly
Okay, I
see
don't
through this
challenge this
bullshit.
thing. I saw a
Ubisoft's
lot of
stock went down 60%. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is that if you do something like this, there's going to be a negative effect.
Won't open the chat.
conclusively a samurai, something that Ubisoft themselves has also admitted. Here's Paul Tassi claiming he was not just a samurai, but a legendary one. He goes on to write,
Legendary
there was similar
samurai. Oh yeah,
pushback to
definitely
Kate
some people
Vest
don't like
Star Wars
it.
Outlaws as a woman, and a not attractive enough woman at that. So he,
Well, of course. There's people, like, a lot of people that are into Star Wars are guys, and so they want to play a hot chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duh. I mean, what? Of course. Like, what? Like, what are we talking about? Like, obviously. No shit, of course. What?
No shit, people
it's
want to
so
play
weird.
other hot chick
It's
or
so
hot
weird.
guy.
What are we talking about here?
Dude, nobody wants to play other
It's really
ugly
not gonna
character
mention that
unless
the
they
main
make
issue here
that
was that
character other jokes.
Ubisoft made her less attractive. Like, they went out of their way to make Kay Vest less attractive than the actress that she's
Every
based
game
on.
that have character creation, majority of people who create the characters there makes them look as good
Everything
as
about this
possible
game
or
was
makes them
bad,
look ridiculous.
And I don't think that this was an outcome of malice, and it was just pure incompetence. I don't. I just think
That's
the game
very
sucked.
bizarre. It's certainly worth pointing out,
Yeah.
but hey, Paul Tassi ain't gonna mention that part here. He then says, no historical accuracy complaints there, as it was pretty straightforward woke/DI talking points there.
Yeah.
But it is surprising to see Ubisoft entertain this at all. There's another...
Well, it's not that they're entertaining this, it's that, and this is the problem, right, is that Ubisoft entertaining this is a misunderstanding of the power structure that companies exist inside of. Companies do not exist as a tool to spread an agenda. Companies exist as a tool to capitalize on culture and to make things that enhance the culture. So the idea that Ubisoft is giving this attention or entertaining this, as he says, Ubisoft's job is to entertain people. They're an entertainment company.
I do believe Yasuke exists, but I don't think he's an actual legendary samurai.
And if they're not, then they don't make money.
That's the thing.
It's that simple. And I think that also, it's again...
I believe it exists, but he's not
I think that people are so
legendary samurai.
entrenched in their ideological positions
It might be
that they think that
if they have
everybody
a
else thinks
servant,
like they do,
like a
and
servant,
the
but
entire
I doubt he has samurai.
world revolves around this.
That's way too broad.
Most people don't think like this. They don't worry
It's like
about
medieval
this. They just see
knight.
it,
You
they
cannot
see some
become a
comments, they say the game looks bad, and
medieval
then
knight
that's it.
right away. You need something to you need someone to uphold you. You like a king
very
to
odd
sub
coverage, to say the least.
uphold you to
Regarding
be
all
a
this
knight,
Ubisoft stuff, this one from FastCompany.com, the author Chris Morris writing, "Video game maker Ubisoft in chaos after
Yeah, but I
alleged
believe that
DEI
they're using
backlash."
Yasuke as
The
somewhat like
Assassin's Creed game
agenda,
maker delayed its biggest launch
agenda
of the year,
tool instead
reduced
of like
forecasts, and
creative
is facing
actual
calls
game.
to sell
Exactly.
in what is being called an incel victory.
You know what? It will be better.
Bro, this is
what?
This is the reason why
Incel
people hate
victory?
journalism.
What the fuck is
What
this?
is being called an incel victory? What is being called? Being called by who? Who decided it's being called this?
Incel
Did you
victory? What the
decide this?
fuck?
Are you calling it this? By 3 people on Twitter with a like that has 7 likes? Oh wow. Oh man. What incel looks like this? Yeah.
I
Aren't
bet
you
like
king
the
of the
word
incels?
Dude, I bet you.
I've heard that
the
before.
Word incel not it meaning like 100%. Like
pussies?
nobody
It's
knows the
nuts,
true
man.
meaning of this. What is incel anymore?
Okay, first of all, I haven't seen anyone say incel victory anywhere. Seems like this guy just made that up. And once again, I'll point out how
Exactly.
these sort of people come off as such bigots, man. Dismissing the issues that Japanese people have with this game. Very
They just
reasonable
like the
and
name
understandable
calling. So
issues.
yeah, that is.
And then saying this is like an incel victory, seriously?
Well, to be fair, and this is the problem, is that incel, alt-right, racist, DEI, anti-woke, all of this is just put together in one bucket, right? Where there's a lot of people that aren't incels that don't like this, and there's some people that are incels that do like it. So they're just buzzwords, right? Yeah, they're just buzzwords. It's basically like, like word
calling.
diarrhea. They use a straw man argument always? Exactly.
These virtue signaler types
Incel
are so
victory?
hypocritical. And they're also just weird. I mean, who even talks like that? Oh, it's an incel victory. Like, either this guy made that up.
I would say something like that. Absolutely. I say stupid shit like that all the time.
Hell yes,
And
not
I
so.
definitely think that there are a lot of incels that do think that it's a victory. But to title the article in incel, that's crazy.
Or this must be some like terminally online Redditor talk here or something. Moving on. Because, spoiler alert, it's as bad in the article itself or arguably even worse. He pulls out the classic, oh, the backlash is just from the far right. My gosh, these people are boring with their rhetoric, saying the same.
Well, the thing is that if there's enough people that are on the far right, then it matters. That's the truth. It's literally that simple. And that's what I said before, is like if you get enough people together, you can do anything that you want. And if you try to relegate this viewpoint and like pretend like it's only a small subset of people, but it's actually not, then you're not going to have a lot of sales for your game. So that's it. It doesn't matter. Like, and I think that again, you can only act like this isn't a small group. This is a small group of people. You can only do that long enough until eventually people ask, well, if it's so few people, then why are there so many people not buying our game?
nonsense for years and years and years, and they wonder why people don't listen to them anymore. Check it out. Right here he says, the bookings shortfall was technically due to the delay and disappointing sales of Star Wars Outlaws. However, the underlying reason for both of those, at least in part, is the far-right opposition to diversity and inclusion.
If they're right, if that's true, then the company has two
I don't know
options.
what to say, to be honest. These people just
You
make
either
up stuff.
meet that demand, or you go out of business. That's it. Those are the two options. So if you think this is true, because like the company isn't going to be able to like psyop people into buying this. They're not going to be able to like, you know, mind control people into buying this.
Dancing skeleton.
It's just shifting blame. Yeah, that again, just because you think
I'm
the
not gonna
market
kill
is
those
immoral
skeleton, but I want to
does
see them
not make
dance.
the market change.
Oh my gosh, what a joke.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, diversity and inclusion, something that corporations love to gaslight people about. Oh, hey, we really care about this stuff. Not really. We just want money. But hey, if you criticize these corporations...
Yeah, Outlaws, which has received had a female lead character, received mostly solid reviews from professional critics. Professional critics. But many players gave it a 0 rating out of 10 on Metacritic, citing forced DEI narratives, and claiming developers spent more time on woke culture than the story and gameplay. Well, then it's got a 0. That's it.
Yep.
It's crazy how how people like this can be at such odds with reality. That's what's so astonishing to me about this.
I don't understand how does it people...
It's like they're completely against reality. Like they can't even see what's clearly in front of them.
Yeah, like how do they see stuff like that?
They're writing
Like the
themselves
game
into a different
failed, not
reality. Yeah,
because of
exactly.
the
Like professional
the
critics gave it a
inside.
good review. Well, if professional critics keep giving it good reviews and these reviews aren't resonating with an audience, maybe you shouldn't be a professional critic.
You're apparently far right for criticizing corruption in corporations. He goes on to say, Outlaws, which has a female lead character, received mostly solid reviews from professional critics. Oh, professional critics. But many players gave it a 0 rating out of 10 on Metacritic, citing quote-unquote forced DI narratives.
Because
and
they
claiming
no
the
longer
developers,
are critics,
quote, spend
they're
more time on the
activists.
woke culture than on the story and gameplay, unquote. Some players were also unhappy with the optional season pass model that tacked an additional $40 onto the game's price for extra missions.
True.
The review bombing, driven by anti-DI backlash,
It's not even
seemingly
really
worked
pure
until the chain of
bombing. Like,
events.
the game's so bad, people don't even like it.
You know why? It's because there was enough people to do it. You get enough people together, you can do anything you want. Absolutely. Yep.
That led to Wednesday's announcement. I forgot to mention this. In the intro of the article, he says, Ubisoft abruptly canceled its appearance at the Tokyo Game Show and postponed all press previews of the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows. Wednesday, we learned why. Anti-DI backlash has sent the company spinning. So for one, as funny as that is, there's also a lot more going on with Ubisoft than the anti-DI stuff. Like, for example, they've been mismanaged
it's so
heavily
fucking
for years,
easy
but leave
to
it up to the
become a
so-called journalist
professional
veteran
critic.
to not...
Isn't it funny how there's clearly a lot of people with these views, but he just dismisses
A
them
dude
as
with
if
a
they're
laptop
meaningless? The reason why
can
they
easily
do that
become a
is that
professional critic.
they think
I
that
guarantee
if
you.
you don't talk about it for long enough, that it will cause people to just move past it or not think about it. That's what they try to do. Yeah, like they're like, okay, well, let's pretend like this doesn't exist, and that way we don't give it more power. Yeah, they're hoping like, yeah, let's marginalize and pretend like this doesn't exist, and then maybe it will go away. There's something to be said about critics giving favorable reviews, not because the character's a woman, but a lot of negative reviews do focus on her being a woman. No. Well, no, that's not really true, because
everyone
a critic
can be a
exists
critic
to inform an audience,
and
and
call
if a
themselves
critic's
professional
information isn't
critic.
resonating
All
with an
you need
audience,
to
then a
know how
critic's
just
purpose
to
is
write
invalid.
article.
So
And,
if a person is reviewing
put your
things
opinion
and the
out there and you
reviews
can
are
consider
not
yourself
serving
critic.
a purpose to the customer, then the review has no reason to exist. There's no, like, basically it's the chicken and the egg thing, but it's actually not. It's the egg is first, and then the egg turns into the chicken. The egg is the consumer, not the fucking reviewer. The consumer creates the desire for the review. The review does not create the desire
Yeah,
for
what?
the
Let's try kill eye of Cthulhu.
People got it all fucked up. They don't understand what their goal is. They don't understand what their purpose is.
acknowledge that, and to try and smear all of the Ubisoft critics as a bunch of far-right incels as he seemingly attempts to defend this massive corrupt corporation. And that's about all that I have to say on this topic. Just truly bizarre stuff from these journalists. However, I suppose that's to be expected in this day and age, and part of why they're now such a disgraced profession. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff in the comments. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you enjoyed my coverage, consider liking and or subscribing to the channel for more, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, give me 1 second.
As you probably know,
I think this is so fucking funny. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is fucking hilarious. Because again, like, it's a narrative that, would you admit that people are hyper-fixated on finding agendas over actual gameplay experiences? They are. People are hyper-fixated on it, and I think that the reason why they're hyper-fixated on it is because the fact that those agendas exist in the game makes them feel like the game is taking advantage of them and isn't representing them in a proper way that they feel like is respectful. So,
maximum number,
like, whether you, and this is the problem, is that, like, you are making a value judgment on whether this person should be allowed to have this opinion or not, or whether this opinion is justifiable. And that is not the right opinion to have when you're trying to sell a product to a market. Like, and this is true with streaming too. You can think that you had the best stream ever. You can think that you make the best videos ever. But if those videos don't resonate with an audience, you're not going to make any money. That's all there is to it. And so you have people that are so focused on the good or bad of what they're seeing or what they're doing that they're not thinking about the reality of what is or is not.
Don't know.
It's not about what should or shouldn't be.
It's
about what is and isn't.
I think because we advance so much that no one cares
and
about
they
anything
think that
anymore.
They have like an ability to control what other
Like
people
we need
think,
to find some way to
which is not what
entertain
happens.
us.
They still have their jobs in journalism, so they're still making
back
money.
the
Yeah, but they're making a lot
day.
less money than they
You
would have
should
made
go out
10
hunting
years ago
food,
proportionally.
get food and bring back
because
home
they're
and
just
hope
not
you don't get
monetizing
eaten by
the
a
same
lion
way.
or tiger or something.
Nostalgic Core, yeah, and
That
so
is,
that's
but
the
now we
reason
don't
why,
even do
is
it
that,
anymore.
Like, you
Basically,
might
like,
think that that review is invalid, and you might
advantage,
think,
relax
hey,
so much,
I
you know?
think this is stupid that they care so much about this gender issue when there's other issues in the game that are more important. And if you have this viewpoint, I think you're totally justified in thinking that. But the problem is that that viewpoint does not invalidate that other person's viewpoint. And at the end of the day, he has the same vote that you do. So if he chooses not to buy the game, then that means, like, it doesn't matter what the reason is behind it.
I believe that
the only thing that matters is whether it happens.
if you are a reviewer of video game,
a
you
lot
need
of
to be
people, like,
most
again, they're
biased,
trying to, like, base their
unbiased,
decision off of, like,
that's possible.
justifying this. Well, there is no justification.
I still remember back
it's not,
then,
people like
when I read a
you're asking
game
people to
review,
justify
they
their
would
reviews,
talk about like
and
the
asking
game.
a person
They talk
to
about the
justify their
gameplay.
review presupposes that they are accountable to you. It presupposes that you have to just.
They will talk about the game. They will talk about the gameplay. They talk about like secret in the game, the secret within the game, and sometimes they will talk about like the cheat code and Easter egg in the game. That's why back then I liked reading video game stuff so much because like when you were a kid you don't know anything, right? You like there's no internet, you cannot like go, you cannot just Google stuff like for you can found it, and you, as a most stuff you as a most Easter egg and secret in video games you can find back then, it go to game forum and game reviewer. That so people who actually play game and discover like, oh yeah, this part of the game about this part of in other game about that. But now those reviewer basically gone. They basically like move on as a new wave and the new wave of reviewer doesn't review game. They too focus on their like agenda and politics stuff instead of like play the game and review the game. That it. Like, they don't do it anymore. Like just I kind of just wild. But yeah, that basically my 2 cents when it comes to games, video game stuff. I'll give it a review. Okay, I'm gonna kill Eye Cthulhu. If I die, we'll try tomorrow. If I kill it, then yeah, we just kill the first boss. Okay, 4 flings, this should be more than enough to kill. Oh my god, look at this thing. Oh, it's actually quite really easy. What the hell? Oh, well, we're just having second phase yet. That was... Come on, kill that thing. Come on. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god, my minion not fast enough to chase it. Oh, never mind. You're dead. Easy. Actually, quite easy. Like, I never played 7, so I thought 7 was gonna be so annoying to fight. But yeah, well, I'm killed Eye of Cthulhu, got myself a shield. It's really nice now, so I think I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. So yeah, see ya.